profession.
Who that is? Billy McIntyre. Who that is? Billy McIntyre.
It's gonna be a pretty good one right here. Pretty good one. Pretty good one.
What the subject is? What we talking about?
We talking about the world. We talking about you.
Me?
There's plenty to talk about. Yeah, I mean, look,
Okay.
IHanTV is the brand, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay, well, we got plenty to talk about. We don't talk about nothing but IHanTV if we want.
Oh, okay.
All about inspiration.
Oh, okay. We just go. All right. Well, it is what it is then.
We'll have a direct subject. You know, like you said, the person we bring is the subject.
Oh, okay. It makes sense.
Try to get a little input on you from what the things that's going on, you know, out in public. And
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
of course, we want to know about how you got started and all about what you do.
Oh, that may take up a whole podcast then.
Man, they may take up a whole
Might need
two
to be
podcasts,
might
but
be
really, you know.
to be continued the way it is. Shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say what now. We live now. We live.
Okay,
We live.
We
yeah.
live
We
now?
live. Oh, yeah.
Ain't no
Welcome
doubt.
to another episode of Barbershop
Barbershop
Stories, the podcast, episode
Man, this is
45.
45.
And the special
baby.
guest for today, you can see him because he definitely got on that orange. And it is Mr. Ferlando Parker with IHanTV's
IHanTV.
marketing guru from city to city, state to state.
That's right.
Balling like Jim Jones said, you know what I'm saying? So of course we had to have him on here, you know, hey, if you don't know him in other states, you'll know him after the day. So I'm comedic narrator, haircut Schlangen Benny Mac, and that is,
There's no nose in here with y'all.
that's right. What's
Got
your
some
name,
information for
Ilko?
you.
What's your name, Ilko? Tell me your name, man. Yeah, you right.
Hey,
Oh,
that's on you. It go
Yeah,
around.
you right,
All
man.
right, I'm
I am
Ferlando.
no.
I'm Ferlando Parker with IHanTVs.com.
Okay, well that's what's happening, well, Ferlando. Of course, we brought you on here because, of course, we want to know your business and let the people know what you do, how you do it, what inspired you to do it. But before we even start, how are you managing through the pandemic, through the virus, man? Like just tell us your take on that before we even get into it, man. How has it affected your business? Has it been better? Has it been worse? Has it been, you know?
Well, COVID-19 for us has been a blessing in disguise. When COVID-19 first started, I think for us was in February when we started to get worried about being shut down. And what I decided to do was talk with all the people that work with me and let them know that if we had to shut down, that I was going to do everything in my power to try and make sure they still received a paycheck every week, whether they was working or not. And that was one of the things that we know is to watch closely to the CDC website and also pay close attention to what the White House was doing as far as sending out relief or anything like that. Last time it was a recession, they sent out some relief, but when businesses are going to be affected, especially the small businesses are going to be affected, the White House tends to listen pretty quickly. And I learned of the fact that we're going to send out a paycheck protection program to help business owners, small business owners, carry people that work for them. One of the hugest challenges that a business can face is when you are forced to shut down by government and your employees cannot earn money or earn paychecks. You can lose all of your trained and specially skilled employees to other businesses, or they just quit and go work somewhere else, and you have to start your business over. For example, I have a professional bookkeeper that does all of our books. She is very skilled at what she does. It's very hard to replace her. I have installers that took weeks, months, if not almost years to train. It would be very hard to find people that do what we do, how we do it. So that was my reason for that. So early on, I filed for the paycheck protection program, even though we were a little worried. We were still working. I filed for the SBA loan, economic injury disaster loan, back in February. We kept going, and we didn't know if we was going to get anything from the government. We just submitted our information. We were already financially stable. The only challenges were we were worried about stopping and not being able to make any money with just being in the house. So we always have an emergency plan, always have emergency funds building, but we didn't know how long we could go with the emergency funds. And so what I did was I created a Corona Care plan that I got with a young lady who was good at writing it up. We came up with a Corona Care to reassure customers that we would wear the proper stuff like masks. We would wear rubber gloves, PPE. Yeah, that's what it's called, PPE. Masks, gloves. I even bought them booties to go on their feet. We come up with a plan that when you go to the house, you ask the customer, can you use their restroom? You wash your hands, put on your gloves, do the job, the whole job with the gloves on. Before you leave, you ask the customer, can you use the restroom again? You go to their restroom and wash your hands with the gloves on. And then when you leave the house, you take those gloves off, and then you put them in the truck, go to your next house, and use more gloves, and you keep doing it that way, wearing the mask the whole duration time of the job. So we got this put together. We put it on the website first, got it all listed on the website, shot a commercial with Fox 6, got the commercial on Fox 6, and started airing about 100 commercials a month. For us, it started to take off. We started earning. We were on an average of doing about $5,000 or $6,000 in installations a week. We went from $5,000 or $6,000 in installations a week to $15,000 in installations a week to 16, and now we're at 20 over the course of 90 days. So we've been able to focus, and during the duration of that, we still have yet, we watched other businesses close, challenges that we went through. In the duration of that, we were awarded all of the the paycheck protection money that we applied for, the SBA loan, all that was awarded. So we took all of that.
And that's interesting because a lot of people were saying that they didn't get it. So we actually sitting there with a person who actually
we got
received funding. That's what's up.
PPP loan.
Yeah, the PPP was for a paycheck protection program that they come up with to help you with your payroll, and it helps you hire people and keep people employed. And so we were in the middle of that, and we're still doing that, and we're just staying on top of that. But the best part about for us with with the coronavirus and the pandemic is that everybody was forced to stay in the house. So everything started selling out of Walmart, like the laptops, the tablets, the PlayStations, TVs, all of that started selling pretty quickly for being stuck in the house. Then when the stimulus checks were passed out, TVs sold out everywhere. And that shot our business through the roof. And we started installing heavily, wide open, earning big, doing those installs. And we're still doing it to this day, and the numbers are still there.
Well, that's good. That's good, man. So I remember when you started from very humble beginnings. I think you had a box Chevy with just wrote on the side, but I hang TV hung on the side.
That was a
and
Jeep.
a lot of hanging. Yeah, it was a Jeep.
About
It was a Jeep.
big,
I thought it was a box Chevy.
That was a Jeep.
About a 97 box Chevy.
And I hang TVs on several vehicles.
Yeah, that's what's up though, man. It's inspiring, man, just to see, we got a Aboriginal American here. We're gonna try to use proper terms too.
Yeah.
That's sitting here doing his thing, and like I said, I'm glad to know him. So, let me ask you this: before we get just too deep, Black Lives Matter, black on black crime. Do you feel like they related, or do you feel like it's two totally separate issues?
I personally feel like that Black Lives Matter needs to change their name, because the narrative that is painted is stuck with the name. I've always been a person that tells people, whatever you name your business, you got to be careful. But in this situation where Black Lives Matter's whole purpose and goal is to bring light to the police officers that are killing unarmed black men and women, and getting paid leave and not getting convicted of any crime. In a black on black crime, you're gonna get a person arrested, they're gonna go to court, they're gonna go to jail. And yeah, there are people trying to protest that we need to stop killing each other and all of that. But now I have a great vision of the two. One, Black Lives Matter, is that we as black people are saying black lives should matter to black people, and I totally get that. Yeah. But the challenge is that with Black Lives Matter's movement about the police brutality is stuck with that name attached to them. And I really feel like they should change the name of the group that is going after the police brutalities. They need to make an announcement. They are officially changing their name from Black Lives Matter, because, a lot of times people don't understand the reasons. Everything's in the name. You know, when you say Black Lives Matter, it does matter. You know, all lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter cannot matter. I hear all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Black Lives Matter movement name itself bothers other people. It and we all know we matter. We all understand that as black people. But the problem I see in just logically looking at everything is that Black Lives Matter organization has a problem based off the name they chose to represent themselves.
So, all right, so I got a couple questions for you. So, one, why do you feel like they should change their name? And two, what's the difference between somebody saying Blue Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, or whatever lives matter? Do you think they just got a problem with the word black?
I don't think that's the case because the way, I would say that maybe some people who have that as a problem with that name, or with that word. I'm sorry, but I think again, the purpose of the Black Lives Matter movement, I am all for, and I'm all for black people stop killing each other. So I understand both of the narrative. I mean, when you look at white people kill each other too. You know, it depends on the area that they're in. You know, there's a lot of stuff that don't get reported. There's a lot of people that get killed at the hand. Most murders in areas are going to be mostly done by the ethnicities that are in those areas.
That's true.
So when you look at black on black crime, you get most of that happening with the news with the urban and inner city areas. You get more news stations covering that. But like I said again, the whole movement toward trying to stop police shootings of unarmed people or just, criminal, there should be, people should be held accountable for killing each other, period, or killing anyone for that matter.
Yeah, 'cause I think both situations,
Police or no police.
both circumstances actually matter. And not that anything else doesn't matter and all this other stuff they
Both
want
of
to
them
come
matter.
up with to cross compare and deflect things into a movement that's building steam and changing a lot of, like we say, celebratory things and not systematic things, but symbolic things. And both circumstances matter. But why do we have that group of people that seem like they got to try to trump one for the other? Some people got to say this matter more than the other one, or that matter more than the other one. I think we have people out here on the ground that's been tackling violence. We have mentors out here.
They've been going after for years.
I mean, you have candlelight vigils. You have people speaking out. You have pastors and different leaders coming out after people are killed. Marches. Stop the violence rally. Just a stop the violence rally at Patton Park about 2 weeks ago. 2 Saturdays ago, guys out of Kingston did, but those things that go unspoke of, but I think the news right now is pushing that violence, and I think the sole purpose was to derail things, and they know they confuse things with propaganda. So both circumstances actually matter. These people over here fighting for this, and you have people over here speaking up for this. So I don't think we should have that group of people that try to make it seem like, okay, why y'all fighting for this and somebody just died at the hands of a black man? Y'all saying this and y'all saying that, but y'all don't do this when blacks kill whites or such and such, or whites kill blacks, or y'all want to get in outrage, but when blacks kill blacks, y'all don't get in outrage. But it all goes back to all the circumstances actually matter.
Yep.
But what fight are you in? Are you in the complaining about all that shit fight? Or are you in the helping over here? Are you helping over there? Are you trying to, help in all areas? You know what I'm saying?
I personally think that a lot of black folks just want your ass to shut up.
Man,
when they go to all of that, when they just say,
well,
man, look, man, if y'all talking about Duke killed Ray, but y'all ain't saying nothing about that. But I'm like, well, you really can't compare the issues. Hurt is hurt, true.
That's right.
But if somebody said I started a specific move, let's say Lando said, I hang TV.
That's right.
Then they tell him, well, what about the shingles on the roof? Yeah, okay, we understand that, but he specialized in TV. Yeah. That don't mean he don't care nothing about your roof leaking, but he can't hang a TV.
That goes
he didn't
back
come
to
up
the name,
with shingles, man.
Yeah.
But the name is, I think when that movement started, it was for what it's for. Now, I don't necessarily agree with everything they do, but I think wholeheartedly the average person that get behind it actually got a meaning to actually help black folks. Now, what the narrative was when they first started, I can't say.
I think it's been taken out of context. I think it's been took to a point where there have been names of like a group or a violent group of them, and you know, it's just it's kind of sad when you look at the whole big picture. When you back up out of the ant bed and look at all the ants in the ant bed, you can see they all want the same thing. But this one group of ants over here has the same name as this group of ants over here. And so the confusion is that when the people look at the ant bed, they don't see nothing different. So that's the issue. They have to be able to look at these group of ants and understand that these group of ants simply want the police to stop killing unarmed people, black, white, or whoever. That's just what the goal is, in my opinion. And then this group over here with the Black Lives Matter movement is saying we need to stop black on black crime. We need to stop each other. But you know, honestly, I was listening to a pastor on the way back from Dothan today, and he was at the vigil for the young man that was killed at the Galleria. And he said something that kind of stuck with me. He said everything started, whether the police are getting in, now some of the police parts, I don't think then he said attaches to that. But what he said was that we got to start at home. There's a lot of black fathers missing. It starts all these shootings that black on black crime is happening. Nobody wants to talk about black fatherhood. Nobody wants to go toward the subject of why and where are the black men of these children or these young boys who are out here killing. We all want to pray for them, and we all want them to get out the house and get a job. Ain't no guidance. Ain't nothing been put in them from a young age all the way up until they're 21. They've been feminized to act with their feelings. They don't respect authority. You have a lot of the women that want to be independent. They don't want to, you know, I hate to use the word they don't, because you kind of paint everybody with a broad brush, and I don't want to do that. What I want to be able to say is there are some that don't want a man running their house. And when you have a house that's out of order, especially with young black males, you're going to see them being raised up in a fashion that they're going to act on emotions. You get in an argument with them, you get to fighting with them, they don't know how to fight because ain't nobody taught them how to throw them hands, ain't nobody told them how to really fight and hug and dap up after the fact and still be cool with the dude they got to fighting with. A lot of times we grow up like that. My mom used to make me go and hug the dude neck after a fight, and I used to get mad about that with my mom, you know. But I learned that, you know, you live to fight another day behind that. But nowadays there ain't no fathers. Well, I don't see a lot of fathers taking their rightful place with these young men and teaching these young men it's okay to take our ass whooping.
But let me ask you this, Lando. So do you think it's just that bad with the fatherhood?
Absolutely.
Or do you think it's just that's the narrative that being pushed? Because I read an article not too long ago that said black fathers are the most that's with their children anyway, whether they're in the house or not.
I find that.
Or do you think the narrative is they just showing all the people that don't?
No, I don't think it's a narrative. I work every day with young black men who come to me for jobs, for installations. And one of the questions that I ask in the interview, when I'm interviewing a young man for a job, I ask them, how's your relationship with your father? 90% of the young men that I hire to work with us don't have a relationship with their father. You know, and when you see that, you just about can see it brewing. And I talked to a lot of the ladies that they're going to see their son in the jail or in the county, and he's the young man that's 20, 21 years old. He done shot somebody, or he was riding with somebody and got in trouble. And the only thing you can think of is this: where's his father? You know, where's his dad? And when every time you see all these shootings out here, these young men doing crazy stuff, you never see the dad on the camera. You never see the father right there with them. It's always the mother and the grandmother. All over America. It ain't just Birmingham.
A lot of scenarios like that.
Yeah, when you see it, and then when you see like the young man that got killed at the Galleria, you see a lot of women. You have more women in the camera than you see men. So some things kind of self-explanatory, you know. And when you look at what's going on, when you saying, okay, well, you know, you go to all you got to do is show up at some of these court hearings, you won't see the father standing there. You know, in most cases. So again, everything goes back to fatherhood. There are some men, especially men that been to prison before, men that been shot before, men that in the streets should be able to show and paint pictures for these young men to see as they coming up. And you know, in my opinion, I think they need to come up with some reality shows that show death row. 22 years old, 50 years. They need to show these cats behind bars.
Come on,
They need to show these dudes. They need to have a reality show when a shooting happened, the other side of that thing.
Yeah.
They need to show these guys in the ICU getting wheeled in. They need to have a live PD in ambulances. They need to have a live PD that go all the way to the hospital, go to a live PD that go beyond the arrest. Court date live PD. You know what's happening. So the reality of everything will be taught, and the laws of the land will clearly start to get understood with some of these young men.
Need to send that chilling feeling through
Yeah.
your bones if ain't nothing else, kid.
It's too many guns on the street. It's too easy to get them. Jefferson
The age
County,
limit too low.
Jefferson County at this point would not lock up any young men that get caught with a trunk load of weed. From juvenile court has stopped taking anybody that get caught with marijuana. So what does that do? Drive up sales. They making all kind of money. That's why you see these young men with a whole lot of money. They selling, doing what they got. They got to come up some kind of way. So that's their way of getting it. And guess what happened? They get the money, they get the pistols, they get the cars, they get mad, they get drunk, and they get mad. And next thing you know, they beefing over nothing, and they kill it.
So do you think a lot of this is an orchestrated effort?
Possibly.
As far as systematically in the situation,
Possibly.
what it end up now? Well, because I know you're saying possibly, but if you think about it though, like far as like going back to the black men, you know, it was an orchestrated effort where it was like, okay, look, we're gonna give you somewhere to stay, Miss Lady, but Lando can't come here. And if Lando come here, it's gonna stop. And if Lando come here, you and your children get put out. So I think you put a woman with 4 children in a bad situation to say, is Lando or the children? Now, hindsight, we can look and say that wasn't the best decision. But at the time when you out there on them street, I can see why a lot of them made that decision. So, and then even like what Sam was just saying about the pistol age, it's 18 years old, you know, you can get a pistol license. But I remember when it was 21, you had to have 3 references, and all of them had to be with good records and all that. But now, it's almost like we want this stuff to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because even with an upbringing, you know, man, if you leave outside that house, and you got access to pistols and your friends and all that, a lot of them children, I think, unfortunately, they getting caught. They getting caught, and they paying severely for the stuff that they doing. Now, of course, a lot of people say you can't blame the system, but, you know, you can't omit them either. You know what I'm saying? You can't omit it either because those are all symptoms of how it got to this point, because I don't think it's one straight answer on why, you know what I'm saying, why this happened.
I think it goes back to fatherhood. I am a prime example. I come from that life. A lot of people don't know me. If I was to throw it all up here on the table, a lot of y'all would probably be shocked. But I come from that world that if I can find a way to make $50 a day legally, if I can use my mind to double money 30, 40, 30, if I can flip money in the streets, I can flip money legally. A lot of times, some of these very things I'm talking about are not being taught to children. Mm-hmm. Children are not being taught a skill on how to earn money coming up. A child that's kept, that's why you get the young black males out here on robbery cases at the gate. 16 years old to 21. You're going to get most of these young boys with robbery cases because they don't know how to have nothing. They see all these nice, fine, flashy things, and they know the girls go for that. So it puts them in a position sometimes where they don't know how to earn no money to make money. All they know is to go out here and take it. And so
immediate option.
Yep. And a lot of them getting killed, and they're either killing somebody, they going to jail behind it because they are being failed. Yeah. There is nobody teaching them from a young age how to budget money, about credit, things that they need to know, how to be a man, how to become a man, be a provider, be a stand-up guy. Nobody's teaching that. And again, that keep going back to fatherhood.
Even when they do, they make their own choices, though. You know?
But they're gonna make. But that starts from the front. See, listen, I hear people say that so much.
Yeah.
People
It's
decide,
true.
but too many people decide to pick up the book on parenting in chapter 8.
I mean, yeah, you got to start before they grown, but when they grown, it's choices gonna be made that you ain't gonna be around to
Well, that may
hold
be
their
all
hand
that
through.
may be all well and fine, but if I can train a pit bull to go over there and sit at that door and don't move till I tell it to, it started when it was a little bitty puppy.
That's true. So you can
Some of
compare,
them gonna do it and some of them
so
ain't.
you can compare a pit bull to a human.
A man is like a dog. Yeah.
Well, somewhat. But you also know too. You done seen dogs switch on. You done seen horses switch
Absolutely.
on, and you also seen children
Absolute-
because
absolutely.
we also seen
But the
two-parent households where all of that was presented to
See,
them
just
too, and
because
they
it's
end up on that bottom bunk.
just
too.
because it was a 2-parent household presenting something don't mean it was done effectively.
Well, but that don't mean it wasn't either. They
I know that.
Yeah,
That's
they
the whole
just,
point.
They just mean that when now I do agree, more people can do better parents, but you also have some people that's out here that's great parents, and the child just
See,
busts
it
a left.
depends on
I mean,
who's.
it happens.
It depends on who is the judge of the great parenting.
Yeah, but
So everybody has a different definition of great parenting.
that's true, and everybody think
We
their
talking
child the shit.
Yeah,
We know that.
So, but effective parenting is what I'm talking about, and sometimes,
Yo.
but sometimes you don't have to. You can look at a person's child and look how they carry themselves, and look how the child is speaking and how the child is conducting themselves, and they ain't got to say a word about the child's upbringing. They ain't got to say nothing about whether they done something right or not. That child gonna display what is being taught at home from whatever age they are. All of us got to where we are today with some kind of upbringing.
Yeah, you be
So
able to
how
tell
we
some
gonna
things.
sit up here and say they gonna do whatever? That's the whole cop out statement that's being said. I don't know. We're gonna have to start praying for these children. They bury that one and here come another one. We're gonna have to pray for. Let's have another visual. Go ahead and get the balloons. We're gonna have to keep doing it. It's just something that keep on happening. It is. Let me tell you something. I always heard, and I always say, if a person sit up and go talk about the problem without a solution, it's called whining. It's a damn shame when a grown-ass man can complain about pain that he helps to maintain when all he got to do is use his brains to make a change. We sitting up here having the same conversation that done been had 1,000,000 times. But when are we as black men gonna stand up and come up with some solutions and start going toward them solutions and putting some boots on the ground and getting something effectively done? We need to start speaking in ways that is productive instead of, well, what about this? All we doing is pointing fingers. But we are all in here strong. Black men, we are the strongest men on earth. At what point? I'm gonna say this again. It's a damn shame when a grown ass man complain about pain that he helps to maintain, when all he got to do is use his brains to make change.
That's a rap lyric too.
He's
That's a
spitting.
rap
He's
lyric.
spitting. He's spitting up
That's a
there.
rap lyric too. That.
At what point, y'all? We gonna keep on pointing and saying, and I'm a solution guy. I'm the kind of person that you give me a problem, I'm gonna come up with. I'm gonna tell you what I see. I'm gonna speak the logic of it all. I can't sit here and waddle in the mud with this mess and get up and go home. If you ask me something, I'm gonna give it to you rough and raw and direct, and it gonna be blunt.
All right, so if you had, if they ask you right now, anybody,
Yes, sir.
said, Ferlando, we got this going on. We all see what's happening in the world. What would be your solution
To what?
to the solution on these children and what's going on?
I've been saying it the whole time I've been sitting here.
Yeah, but-
Fatherhood.
Fatherhood.
Black fatherhood.
Okay.
And until we be the James Evans and all of the black strong father mentalities that took to snatch a young man in place, until we get there, that's gonna always be the problem. We being lazy. We walking away from families. We out here having children and ain't really being there like we should. We ain't taking these women to court and demanding visitations or whatever it is, demanding good report cards. We not showing up for PTA meetings and what we ain't showing up to birthday parties. These women gonna obviously understand where I'm coming from. Let me tell you why I speak like I speak. I was a single father of 5 children for 6 years. 3 girls, 2 grandbabies, no woman in the house with me. Had to do hair, had to buy personal hygiene products for my girls, had to teach them how to cook, had to marry them off, walk them down the aisle, and do what I had to do to get them where they need to be. So I understand it from both sides of the fence. I have been a single father on food stamps, Section 8, and you name it. Welfare, all of it. I've been there. So now that I'm off that, I can see it from the side I need some help. I done been a man as a single father and have to get off work about 2:30 to rush home to get some kids from school, take them home, make them take baths, make them do their homework, cook for them, get their hair ready, all this. So as I'm hearing this, I know that if I can see it from the reverse side of it, if I had a woman here that can cook and teach my girls how to be women, I'm seeing it. So it's plenty of women out here know that they got these young men that started off as a lizard and they end up becoming an alligator. Now they need their daddy. Now all of a sudden daddy need to come see about you. But now you in chapter 8, daddy. Daddy don't know nothing about chapter 1 through 8. He's just started at 8. Now he want to come over there with his belt slapping and beating on the boy. And now all of a sudden the boy mad that he might shoot daddy. You see what I'm talking about? At what point we going to start looking at fatherhood? At what point we going to start looking at, we got to start taking our rightful place as black men in the house? Excuse me, officer, I handle him. Snatch him out the police car. Instead of letting them go in the police car. A lot of women nowadays are calling the police on their own child because they can't handle them. But if it was a man in that house, you can bet you he'll handle them.
Yeah, I can't deny it.
At what point, y'all? It's a damn shame when a grown-ass man can complain about pain that he helps to maintain when all he got to do is use his brains to make change. We gonna sit here and talk about it all night. That's why we powerless now.
No, we ain't powerless.
Again, I am a prime example. If I was to take you back to my childhood up to now, it'll take all night, but I can get you there. It's possible. Everything I'm doing right now is, if I ain't showed you something is possible. Everything is possible. We've tried everything in the world to try and figure out a way to get our black families together. But we ain't tried talking about fatherhood too much. It ain't being amplified out here in our community. We don't see no billboard with black guys or doing something positive on a billboard. We ain't seeing nothing talked about on the news where black guys or black man day with their children. We're not seeing that. What we seeing is father and son both arrested on a murder case. Shooting together, robbing together. That's what we seeing. They amplify that.
Blind leading the blind.
That's what's being amplified.
Let me ask you this. While you was raising your kids, tell me this, how difficult was it starting I Hang TVs and trying to raise your kids at home?
I started out Hang TVs in 2008. I was a single father at the time. I had a 4-bedroom house. I had my 3 daughters. They all had their own bedroom. The 2 babies slept in the bedroom with my oldest daughter because those were her 2 boys. I made an office at my house and had my baby girl move into the room, got them some bunk beds so they could stay in the same room, and I made one room the office. My baby girl helped me answer phones, schedule jobs, and things like that. And my whole goal was to go out and make at least $50 a day. If I knew if I could make $50 a day, that's $1,200 a month coming in. And I started doing the math on how can I split this money up. If I made $100, I had a 30-40-30 plan that I created that I would take $30 out of the $100 and put that in my pocket. $40 out of that go to the bank and I put that in an operating business account for the business for I Hang TVs. The other $30 I would take it and put it in a savings account for reserves or for capital to get built. So I had a 30-40-30 plan. This was in 2008, and I'm still doing that today. So if I made $1,000, $300 went in my pocket. That's my money to take care of my whole house. $400 of that went into the operating account for the business. The other $300 went into the savings account for the business. And I operated in my own home with the 30% of money being made from I Hang TVs, and I'm still doing that to this day. So that's how I come up with a plan and I start hiring and teaching and growing and monitoring and growing the business. So the challenges that I faced in the beginning, every failure had to be a learning experience. And that's what I'm hearing here today, is that we talking about the children and stuff. These are failures. And if these are failures that nobody are learning from, how many more murders do it take? How many more killings? How many more lost souls do it take for us to stand up as men and say no more? I'm watching Facebook. They got a whole new Black Panther movement with these dudes. I'm talking about, it ain't a few of them. It's every bit of almost 1,000 black men that are militant ready to attack whatever when it comes to race right now. They out there. It's on video, YouTube, everywhere. Women included. They all wear black and they got all kind of assault rifles. That means that these cats have made it up in their mind that they finna take a stand. So that's the same mindset that I'm talking about when you talking about dealing with the house, dealing with these children. We at some point got to find a way to reach the women. We're going to have to reach the women. Women are the leaders of what's going on. We can't make women do what we want them to do. We got to educate the women and the men, but we got to be able to reach women. Women can move mountains for the black community. But if the women are solely depending on the systematic things that are in place, that's what keeps us away from the women, and the wedge is between them. We are not giving women enough confidence in us. We are not doing the things that show a woman. I can't tell you how many women that see me as a beacon of hope when I go out and do the stuff I'm talking about now. The stuff I do, I just run my business, take care of my boy. I got 2 boys and I got 3 girls. My boys, my oldest boy is 20 years old. He'll be 21 years old on the 3rd. He has been installing with me since I started. He's only 20. He was 8. He's our top installer right now. He drives his own truck. We just bought him a new 2020. It's in the shop getting wrapped. This guy has been at it the whole time. I can tell you, he puts his foot over there and want to go run out there with them fools, but it hits him when one of his boys get killed. He'll come to me and hug my neck, Dad, I love you, because he know I've been teaching him this stuff for forever. And that's what I mean when you put it in him, go over there and stand by that door. That dog. I got another little young man. He's 14. He started with me when he was 7. So he's been installing 7 years, but going handing tools, putting plates on, fooling with the electrical. Little bitty stuff that I can teach them how to earn as they are growing. I can't tell you how many times women call me, want to put their son with me. I get them inboxes. I get them calls all day long because they can see the direction that the young man is going in. Mm-hmm. And the more they try and tell the daddy, it ain't registering with the daddy. Because he didn't have a dad. And his daddy didn't have a dad.
So you gotta break the cycle.
It's all about teaching them how to make some money.
If your man 15 years old and he get his hands on a chopper and he ain't got no daddy, and he go out there and he out there popping that thing in the Galleria,
You don't know how to use it.
and somebody in that doggone Galleria shoot him, you gonna be out there hollering, there's a race this and this a dad and this. That's a problem. We don't want to take it. We don't want to look at the fact of the matter that this young lizard has made it to alligator.
Yeah, who alligator now?
And I want to say something. A lot of times, what you spoke on, they 15. When they got their chopper, they ain't got no guidance, and everybody that's around them, they praising them.
There you go.
Doing.
Yep.
So now you get that positive reaffirmation for doing
From the
something
streets.
negative, something that's destructive.
In every conversation I've had with the young men I hire, they just want their dad. You can hear it in their voice, and I ask them. I said, man, what's the biggest? He said, man, I just want my daddy, man, to be there, man. He could have been there to guide me and teach me stuff. These young men, I got out there and telling them how an engine run one day. I said, well, the way an engine work, spark plug sparks the gas, and the fuel injection skeet out the gas on the spark plug, causing the explosion in the engine, creates combustion, makes the pistons go. They ain't understand none of that. man, Mr. Ferlando, I really wish you would take some time like that with us more often, man, because I ain't know that. You'll be amazed at these young black men, 21, 22, 23 years old, talk to me about, man, my dad didn't teach me none of that. And they look at my son who works with me, has been doing it forever. And they see how he's just killing it. And they understand it. So my point is that if a man ain't seeing it with his own child, and most of the time, I've always told people, male or female, if you go backwards in a person's upbringing, you can find the problems that you're looking at. Mm-hmm. When I meet a female, one of the major things I always ask, how's your relationship with your father? If it ain't good, she's hard for her to conduct herself in a relationship. She cries sometimes for her father. Listen to some of these women. Ask them. Ask any woman you're affiliated with, hey, how your relationship is with your dad. And you'll begin to understand some things about her a little bit closer. I asked my granddaddy, I said, Granddaddy, how you and grandmama stay married so long? I'm 49. Grandmama done passed, God rest her soul. That was 08. But I asked him this back in 07, 06. No, yeah, 07, 06. He said, son, it ain't like I ain't want to leave your grandmama. But every time I thought about leaving, I couldn't help but think of the hidden qualities that I had in her. Mm-hmm. I said, Granddaddy, what you mean hidden qualities? He said, son, you remember when you pissed your mama off so bad that you think the world was finna end? Yes, sir. You still ate, didn't you? You still had clean clothes on your back, didn't you? Your room was clean, and she still got a hug and a kiss from her after the fact, didn't you? Say, son, when you got that on a woman, you don't leave that too easy. When you don't know that's what you got, that's what the problem is. Mm-hmm. In all of the times that we as men, it changed me. It changed my whole perspective of how I look at females. Now, I said that to say this. My granddad explained that to me, right? I learned that from my granddaddy. What if I ain't have a granddaddy?
Yep.
I'd be around here talking crazy to these women, doing whatever, saying however. They be the best one, like he just said, still ate, still. Yeah, you hungry, mad, we done went off on them and all that. Your food in there on the stove, and they done went in there and laid down, but they still fix that food. My granddad said that's a quality that they can't help, and they ain't nothing they can do. It can't shake them out of it. That's just how they was raised.
We sitting here with Ferlando Parker with I Hang TVs, and this is a great conversation. And back to you, Lando.
I'm sorry for it.
Back to you, Lando.
45.
That's right. Man, I'm enjoying the conversation, bro. I ain't gonna even lie to you, because I like the perspective for real.
Hey, I'm just saying, man, you know, when you got them elders, see, an elder is like a big old bank account of knowledge. Mm-hmm. So as a kid, where do you think they're going to get it from? Off the ground somewhere? That's what these women are saying. He need to go, I don't know what he going to do, but he need to just move out and go get his own place. He don't even know where to start. He don't know nothing about no credit. He don't know how to save no money. He don't know. He going to go work at McDonald's and bring that $233 check to you and be like, okay, where I'm moving to. He don't know no better. Because ain't nobody told him that. He putting them on some J's. So that's all he know. But then we want to sit up there and talk crazy to him. Like he's supposed to just figure it out.
No, like he just know.
Yeah. Well, how he gonna figure it out? You ain't talking about no beacon scope. He don't know what experience is, transunion, or Equifax. He don't know nothing about none of that. Cause you just don't care to show him.
Or they may not know.
Oh, there you go.
I think a lot of time is the blind leading the blind.
Blind leading the blind.
Yeah, because a lot of conversations, being a barber for 26 years, man, you hear a lot. So I can understand it from all different facets. Because you're right, there's no excuse for nothing, but there's a reason for it. And
we as the public look at, well, since he got his mom and daddy, he ought to be all right.
Be straight.
That's why I said what I said earlier. Mm-hmm. If they ain't effective, that don't even matter either. He had his mom and dad. He ought to be all right. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why he can't. His mama right there, dad work downtown at the post office. Mama a teacher over here, but that don't mean they ain't sorry at parenting.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
talking about.
No
time in. Yeah.
Come on.
exactly what them choices
And
come
that's
at.
when
I
you're
said,
talking about starting a business,
Yeah.
that's the part that people don't understand.
Yeah.
Me and my wife talked about, because same thing, single dad till I met my wife, that's why I love my wife.
Mhm.
And the reason that I'm with my wife, because she started a relationship with my daughter.
Yeah.
Because she started a relationship with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to speak on what you were saying, you know, people don't understand that. You get more time to yourself and your family when you start your own business.
Mhm.
Because now your time is the most valuable thing.
Mhm.
If I'm down here working for Mr. AT&T and Mr. AT&T got me on an 8-hour schedule week, what time do I have out of that? You know, when we do the real numbers, it's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
How many hours in a week? If I'm giving 80 of those hours to the week, I gotta have 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
How much time I got left to take care of my household and to deal with my children?
and to teach them
Because I'm
something.
spending all my time somewhere else, and then you add to the thing on top of that they make us feel like we can't educate our own children.
Well, I find that to be false.
That's crazy.
A lot of times, if we can't, it's because we haven't been educated.
But that comes from, I'm talking about just the mentality of, I can't educate my own child. So you got somebody here thinking that, hey, I'm not qualified to teach my child 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah.
So, let alone start a business, take my child, teach them what economic independence is, teach them what a dollar to an hour ratio is.
Oh, yeah.
How much time do you actually get?
Yeah.
And how much money you can make in this amount of time.
Yeah.
So I make more money having my own business in 4 hours than I ever did working 25 hours for whoever I work for in a week.
Yeah. That's right. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
That's
and
it. You know,
and they like being able to hand raise them right there with you,
Yes, sir.
teaching them everything you know.
And you gotta get out, like bro said, you gotta get out of being scared about what these folks talking about. Cause like my granddad used
Teach
to
them how to
say,
fly.
my granddad used to tell me, boy, I love you, and I jack a knot in you right here.
that's right.
You get wrong at, I'm gonna get wrong. And I wish somebody would come up and say something to my granddad about putting their hands on me. And he gonna tell me, he done done it before, look here, this was mine. And if you get in the way, I'm gonna show you why he mine.
How much of it do you think law played in it from, let's just say, 1970 to current? Because I remember about the ass whoopings, and wherever you showed out at, that's where you got it at, which, like you said, which made you stay in line. For
Played a lot into it.
for the newer generation, how much of that you think played a role on parents not being a disciplinarian like they're supposed to, and kind of
It did
fearful
was
of the
intense.
state taking them and all that shit?
I
Do you think
I
how
it's a
much of it you think played a role?
It's
It did what was
a combination
intended.
of not just the law, but you have, and this is no knock to schools and teachers, because they're trying to maintain a certain level of discipline, but you have schools play right along into that. By teaching the children that there's a difference between chastisement and abuse.
Yeah,
But when you
I was
tell
about
a
to say
child,
that.
anytime your parent hits you, that's abuse.
Yeah.
And you're programming that in the child's head.
Yeah.
But what that does for the child is now, my parent has this responsibility, but my parent has no recourse when I step out of line. So now you get children that feel entitled and feel like there's nothing that's on top of them to hold them with that entitlement.
Well-
So, you have this situation that comes about. Now that puts a fear in the parent, because you're like, man, I can't be going down here and I got to go to court because I got to go to DAHR, because I don't know if you went through this, bro, but when I got remarried, my ex and her ex was on one. Every time I got a promotion, DAHR got called. I got to the point where me and the DAHR lady was on first name basis. And she like, Antonio, I know ain't nothing going on, but I gotta come in here and do whatever. But I used to tell them all the time, hey, if I can't raise them the way I need to raise them and make sure that they're a benefit to society, y'all need to come take them. Because I'm gonna raise them the way that I'm gonna raise them, the way that I was raised, that I know right and wrong, regardless of what y'all say. If y'all talking about locking me up for chastising and whipping my children, y'all might as well come on lock me up. Because if one of my sons call my wife a bitch, he finna get his ass towed up. He finna get drugged through there.
Well, you should, because
And he
that's
should.
disrespect.
Yeah.
So, but the answer to your question, yeah, that law and then the reinforcement through the school system, and they got a lot of these younger parents that got this fearfulness in them about dealing with their children in a disciplinary manner.
That comes from not whooping. And okay, I learned when I was a single parent, I whooped my child one morning, and she went to school and told her teacher. Well, they had my daughter call DHR. I don't know whether they encouraged her to, but she called DHR. Well, DHR came to me and came to my house and sat down and told me about what they don't condone in and all of this, that, and the other in front of my child.
That's some hard shit. In front of a child.
So I told the DHR people, what you not gonna do is you ain't gonna come in my house and tell me what I ain't gonna do to mine. Until you start seeing lines of abuse and you start seeing marks on them and me doing abusive things to them, you ain't gonna come in here and tell me not to whoop my child. I'm sorry. If my child get out of line and disrespect me or this house or anybody, I'm gonna deal with them. You don't go and tell the police that. Because the police gonna do what they don't care nothing about the age nowadays.
Yeah.
The police will drag your 12-year-old down through there. Your 13-year-old could be talking crazy to the police, and the police gonna snatch him up and do whatever they got to do to him. Don't care how it goes. And ain't nothing DHR can say about it, in my opinion. But so when I explained that to her, she backed off, told my daughter to step out the room. My daughter stepped out the room, and I stopped her before she could start talking. I say, look, I know what you're getting at, but what you can't do is come to my house and check me in front of my daughter and give her the upper hand when you leave here. You're not finna leave me with that. I don't abuse my kids at all. But if my children get out of line, yeah, I'm gonna have to tag them with the belt. I'm gonna have to tag them some kind of way for them to understand that a child without fear of consequences. Oh my God, that's why you got the mall shooting.
And I said that's the setup. When we always talk about the prison, the high school to the prison pipeline, they give you every excuse until you turn 18. And now you're used to getting all these exceptions. And the minute that you, like he said, how old you is, the minute you get in these streets, there's no exception from the police.
Yeah.
They busting your head wide.
Yeah, because you letting them go of consequences. And so they'll go out there talking crazy to somebody, jumping on folks, fighting folks, what there ain't no consequence about shooting. And somebody either gonna kill them, jump on them, or do something to them. And then when they come home and you got a bandage on them and all that, men raise children with facts and logic. Women raise children, in my opinion, with emotions.
Oh, mama's baby, don't do it like that.
And so when we don't look at, let me back up, y'all. Some women, some men. I got to be careful with that brush I got. I'm sorry, whoever looking. I don't mean no harm. Some women raise children with emotions. And some men raise children with logic and facts. You've done it. Is a consequence. Here's the consequence. You have been sentenced to such and such. And sometimes we can be lenient. Well, hey, I understand, you told the truth. Don't let it happen again. You let them off the hook. They try it again, you get a little bit more stern with them. But that third time, it's time to have some kind of action. Because if they don't understand that, it goes back to what I said earlier. It's a damn shame. So
you said, boys, that you bring in that some of these mothers that pretty much turn their son over to you.
Yeah.
You basically mentoring them all the way to the point that they become your installers.
Yeah.
Have any of those guys turned out and still work for you?
A lot of them still work for me. When I do hire a young man, I don't just have them working for me. We sit them down and we talk about budgeting. I teach them how to do a written budget on a spreadsheet. I ask them what's their credit score. Do they know anything about the credit scores? I also ask them about their fathers. Because a lot of times I'm really planning on trying to do some days out with the guys away from work with their fathers. Hey, invite your father, man. We're gonna go do this. We're gonna go. That's something I want to do with all of our installers. Because a lot of times, if we don't have Father's Days and stuff like that, see, I know their fathers can be more of an influence with them with the way that we work at our office, out in the field and all that. And it is also important for them to have a relationship with their dad. And so, if we're not encouraging that in the workplace, or encouraging that in the community, that's where the struggle begins. So if I can only save a few young men, that's all I can do. You know, I had one young man that told me,
Doing what you can do though.
knowing what I can do.
Yeah.
I had one young man, I interviewed him, he said he didn't have no driver's license. I asked him what happened to his driver's license. He said his license got suspended. I said, why did your license get suspended? What did you do? He said, well, Mr. Ferlando, I got a ticket and I ain't have no job and I couldn't pay the ticket. He said, they gave me a ticket and I ain't have no money and nobody wouldn't give me no money to pay the ticket. So they put a warrant on me and took my license. And I had to go to jail. He said he went to jail and made bond, and they just told me he had to get a light. He had to go through a lot. Well, he still didn't have no license, even after all the jail sentence, paying the fine and all that stuff. Still didn't have no license.
Yeah.
So I said, tell you what, I'm going to let you ride with an installer. You're going to ride with an installer learning this job. You're going to take a written test, and you're going to have to take a field evaluation. You can do these things right here. I will put $250 towards you getting your driver's license. It's going to take you about 7 days. If you fail this within 7 days, I can't help you, son. I said, but if you do everything I'm telling you, you will win. Now, you got 48 hours to learn the written test. You're going to get the test on the 3rd day. He got the written test. He passed it. I gave him $50 toward his driver's license. That's what we do. We give him $50 normally on their check, but this was towards his driver's license. So with 48 more hours, we test them in the field on putting TVs up the correct way. We have a certain step method that we teach them. And it's a 20-step test that they have to go through. You have to pass it on paper, pass it by doing it on the 6th day. So they get out there on the 6th day, and he does that. We give them a $200 bonus on top of their training pay that they receive throughout the week. So their first check is anywhere between $650 to $800. Depends on the number of duration of jobs they went to. First check. So this gentleman did that, and we took the $250, went online, called a girl I know that worked at the DMV. She told us what was what, worked it out over the phone, took the payment over the phone. His driver's license was valid. She emailed it to me. We printed it out. He waited on his copy of license. This guy's installing with us today. So those are
an employee.
Yeah, it's an employee. So
more.
these are some of the things that these young men face out here, and we don't look at that of ways of trying to help some of these young men. Again, it goes back to fatherhood.
I said, so those guys are more than employees to you.
Oh, absolutely. Every last one of them. Any young black man.
Jobs just don't do
Yeah, I
shit
can't.
like that.
I buy them boots. I buy all the tools. They don't buy no tools. I spend about $600 per employee for tools. They have to have DeWalt drills, bags. We got them backpacks, all the tools that go in there. If they quit, we get our tools back. So they have to turn in everything, or it comes out they check or whatever. But when they get there, they get tools. They get a truck. They CB radio in the truck, tracking devices on the trucks. We keep up with all of that. But the whole goal is to make sure that they look good, they're conducting themselves, sort of like a boot camp situation, if you ask me. But they're earning money along the way.
On these other jobs, you're going to fly or your ass going to die.
That's right. And so I'm not the kind of person.
They ain't holding your hand.
Yeah, I'm not the kind of person that's going to turn a young black male away like that, or a young white male. It could be any color. But any young man that is wanting to do good or wanting to make an honest dollar, my goal is if I can find this person to be a great fit for our family that we have working at the office. We have a group, and we're all a close-knit family. We try to make sure that we're putting the right person in the group, number one. If we got that, we try to find out their circumstances and how we can help them. We talk to them about the main reason I talk to all of my employees about credit and their budgeting and stuff like that is because when you got people working for you who are hurting, they will end up hurting you by stealing from you or trying to do something crazy to you or around you. And you don't need that in any workplace. So once I find out I have that kind of stuff going on around me, I start finding ways to etch them out the group.
Yep.
Now, this is the fun part. You had to do like that, like, man, I can't do nothing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have guys that just don't work out well. I had a guy, man, I can't go into some of this stuff, but we had to let a lot of them go. And it's very rare now, though. Our turnover rate is very low now since I've been doing some of the stuff I do with the providing of the tools, mentoring them on the budgeting, and making sure they get money.
Now, some people need to hear the ins and outs. Like you said, these mothers that's watching, some of these young guys that's watching, some of these fathers that's watching need to hear the ins and outs. Because if you, a guy that's as lenient as you, helping guys get their license back and all this stuff
on
a job so you can prosper here, if you saying that I had to turn some guys away because of they might need to hear a couple of them damn things, man.
One of the major reasons some major things I turn some of them away is they will come to work come to the interview smelling like weed. And we drug test. They coming in, they go into customer housing. And we don't go to round through certain neighborhoods and it's cool and they're not smoking too.
Yeah.
We go to neighborhoods where they're going in gated communities. They're going in some of these prominent people homes, and they go through there and get a woof of what's going on.
Even then, you
That
can't
ain't
pull
good.
up burning. Even if they burning, you can't just pull up no
They
burning.
go. We do police departments. We did Mountain Brook Police Department. We did the dispatch room. We did the judges' chambers. We did all of the whole Mountain Brook municipality, all the fire department, all their televisions. I can't send guys into these situations like that.
They represent you.
It's a representation of us.
Right.
We
The whole of 8 hours. Yeah.
We can go for a lot of time. Go to a lot of installations that we have to. First strike against us is that we us.
Yes.
All right, that's the first strike. Everything else belongs to me. I have to make sure that I'm putting the right person, the right character, and everything in people's homes. I cannot have none of that. I had the Alabama Power account years ago. Lost it with that.
Yeah, and shout out to the people who watching that's tuned in. Allison Sanders said, "Fatherhood matters." Jen Humphrey said she can't really hear, but we got 2 versions. Actually, we got 3 versions. You can check it out on YouTube too, Jennifer, and I will repost the actual the edited version that you can hear the volume. Jasmine said, "When mamas and women stop treating them like babies." And what's up, Tanya? What's up, Tanya? Miss Shrugs, what's happening? Men stand up and be the head. That's Jasmine. Robert Glover, he just waved. What up, Robert?
All good comments.
Yep. Jasmine again said we need a mixed panel with women, men, and teenagers to get the answers. Well, Jasmine would love to have you on. You can hit me or Sam on the cell phone. Cause like I said, you can hit us through Messenger. You can hit me at 205-585-7273.
Well, hell, just come on by.
Yeah, just stop through. You know what I'm saying? It's an open discussion. You're more than welcome to come in any day, and we'd love to have you on the panel. Let me see. Teresa Jackson said, "Train up a child the way they should go." Miss Patterson, Miss LaToya Patterson said, "It takes a village." We do concur. Yes, that's right. So, hey, we appreciate everybody being tuned in, logged in. Make sure you like, repost it. You can share it. We don't mind. And Lando, this been great. I ain't gonna lie, man, because one thing about it, owning the business is challenging enough. And then to take on somebody that don't even belong to you and have to put the game in them, I'm sure that's very challenging too, but you're willing to take on the job. So we definitely appreciate you for that. I ain't gonna say unsung hero because you can't turn on the Facebook without saying Lando. I'm talking about Lando.
Turn on TV, Facebook, radio.
I'm talking about one day Lando, he just woke up with the shirt on and the shorts.
Gotcha.
He gonna have it on.
Gotcha.
You can believe that. Yeah, I give it to him. I seen him at a funeral. He had on a suit coat and I ain't TV shirt up. You gotta give it to him, but I respect that though because that's definitely branding. And a lot of people just ain't doing that. That's why they're going out of business. So I guess I'm gonna ask you this as well. Do you feel like with the Kavaras going on, they're gonna shut this thing back down?
Yep. I think that Birmingham, Jefferson County, and all surrounding areas and beyond are gonna go back into a lockdown. Because the virus is steadily moving and until they come up with a vaccine, it just ain't gonna be better. I don't see it. If I could see it in a different way.
Said, "Don't take it." No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
I don't think we need to take a vaccine if ain't nothing wrong with us.
Nice.
And even if something's
You
wrong
said
with
you
you,
need something.
you're gonna need something.
I tell people to go look and see what these other countries that they're not mentioning in the news. They're not mentioning Jamaica for a specific reason. I think they had 6 cases in Jamaica, no deaths. The Jamaican people are vehemently on social media telling you what they're using as natural to protect themselves from the virus. So it's a virus, but at the end of the day, that's what your immune system for. Is it that the virus is so bad, or is that our immune system is so horribly compromised?
No, that's interesting though, because I was talking to somebody earlier, and it was saying that as much as they talk about all these people died, they asked the question: Anybody died from a cold, the flu, the pneumonia, any of that, everything is the virus now.
Stroke, a heart attack.
You know what I'm saying?
Any of
Everything
that
is
going on.
related to the
Not that we
virus.
asking for it to happen.
No. And then another question is too, is that, you know, we talk about how many people who's been affected, but nobody talks about the recovery rate. It's a 90-some% recovery rate. You know, and I'm not saying what is bad and what's not, because I haven't been faced with it that I know. But I will say this, is that if it's so bad, how you just tell somebody that say they tested positive, go home and quarantine yourself? That's interesting to me, you know what I'm saying? But that's just a thought, and I'm sure
Exactly
I'm
what
not
they
the
tell
only one
me
that
too.
done thought about it. Just go home, take some ibuprofen, don't be around nobody.
Yep.
But over here, you got some folks on their last
You
leg,
get shot in the chest with a
ventilator
gun.
and shit.
I can say that your death was a gunshot wound to the chest, or I can say that your lungs stopped working, which they did, but I never tell you the reason why your lungs stopped working.
But you know, the
So
same
you gonna
thing
have a
happened.
heart
Bullet in
attack,
that motherfucker.
And I said you had a heart attack, but then I said the coronavirus caused your heart attack. Was it the coronavirus or was your heart weak?
Mm-hmm. But and it's
George
funny though,
Floyd.
George Floyd, the same thing. They trying to say the cause of his death wasn't a knee on the neck
Man,
that was on there longer
Lord
than
knows
too
that.
long. Well, it shouldn't have been on there in the first place, but they trying to say that, oh, well, you know he had the coronavirus. He had the virus.
Yeah, you know, and that's another part that we have to do as our people. We have to stop being gullible. And you know, I talk about this all the time. I love to use the analogy of a battered woman. You know, no matter how many times this guy cheat on her, she's surprised when he cheat on her again.
Mm-hmm.
And you take him back. So, you know, as black folks, like I said, with the syphilis experiments, with the gynecological experiments, with the polio stuff in the 60s, you know what I'm saying? When are we gonna say, okay, you know, they be running that game to us all the time. And every time we just accept what they telling us, but how do we verify?
But see,
How do you go back and verify behind them of what they're saying and what's being done? You know,
Can't
whatever
never
they
get
see
you a
in
man.
the space, whatever they do in the space,
Oh.
we just have to take the news word.
You
We
just
can't
mess
go out
with some
of space and
glue.
verify.
Yeah, it's interesting, man, because you can't verify it.
You can't verify.
Whether it's right or wrong, you can't do nothing but take care of yourself. But I think too, you know, going back to what you were saying about black people just accepting stuff, I think with so many years of ass whoopings and abuse, and ass whooping don't always mean physically. You got to think it's been a lot of mental abuse. It's been a lot of laws that most of the bad laws was made because of us.
Man, I was reading
So,
some stuff the other night.
so when you go to thinking about that, man, I think some people just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though like they ain't really willing to fight unless it's just at the front door. But I think some people like, hey man, I done went to school, I done got a job like they told me to. Leave me alone.
That's conditioning.
Yeah, it's a lot of conditioning in there.
And I said this around some my counterparts, my European counterparts one time, and we was at the mall. There's a few police officers, some administrative people, and they kind of just dispersed after I said what I said. We kind of got on that subject about children, kids, and chastising, and should you whoop a child and shouldn't you whoop a child? And I said, well, if slavery didn't teach us nothing else, it taught if I beat your ass long enough, you gonna do what I tell you. Everybody kind of just dispersed because nobody like to talk about that. They don't like to talk about the things that were physically programmed into us by beating. And those things still carry on to this day. You know, when we talk about the absences of the fathers in the household, tell me when have the fathers ever been in the household? There's no black men running anything during slavery.
Yeah, there was.
See,
Yes, there was.
The conflict with that though is Tulsa, Oklahoma though.
Yes, there
Yeah,
was.
It's like
But
how,
Tulsa,
how,
Oklahoma-
Yeah, people were still getting
Tulsa-
married and all that during slavery.
Tulsa, Oklahoma wasn't slavery. And
I know,
people
so-
was being together in slavery.
They were married.
But you weren't married because
Yeah, they were.
property can't, your dogs can't marry each other.
Well, I get what you're saying, but people were still getting married and all
They
that
were
during
jumping the
slavery.
broom.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were jumping the broom,
Yeah.
but marriage licenses
They're
didn't
jumping
come
the
out
broom.
until after slavery.
Well, yeah, but
You know that whole thing. So
if that's the case, it was marriage license ain't nothing but a piece of paper that been
come on,
ordained in the
let's-
years
let's-
that well
let's
out.
get on it. Come on now, let's get on it. So
Yeah.
still at the end of the day, these things stimulate from this conditioning. Because if anybody listened to you, you were sold, you was hung, you was beat. Not saying that since time progressed that those things don't become a marker, and you look at those things and you make adjustments and you change it. But that's still the root cause of it,
Yeah.
of having men not being be in the household. And then
I think
then
what
you come down,
I
come
think-
down to a whole experiment with the ghetto that they didn't even change the name of it when they took it from Hitler. And the whole purpose of all that is, like you say, to put these women here, give them financial support, remove this man, have the man only quality that the majority of women look at be his economic prowess.
I think men were taken out of the household aggressively in the 70s.
Yes.
Right after Dr. King was killed. I think a lot of black men were being, and then when you had when the drug trade came with the crack and all of that, that's what drove the wedge into the communities, and a lot of black people were facing the drug epidemic of crack cocaine. And then you had the glorifying of it in the rap lyrics. You had the glorifying of it in the New Jack City. You had the glorifying of it all on TV everywhere about the lifestyles and the things and all that kind of stuff with it, which fueled and sped up the process of locking up black men, locking up black women. These people were getting fed times. These people was getting time getting locked up for years, for like 30, 40, 50 years for just possessing with the intent to distribute, or distribution cases where they were locking up for nonviolent offenders. That's why a lot of them are getting out. I've seen guys get sentenced to life in feds. That means that's life without parole in feds. And now they're releasing a lot of them because it was harsh and unusual imprisonment. It wasn't until recently that I learned that President Clinton I just learned.
Don't forget Joe Biden now. Make sure he.
I just learned that President.
Joseph.
I just learned that President Clinton in the early '90s sped it up even faster with pipelining a lot of black people to prisons.
But I'm gonna tell you something crazy. That was just an extension of the agenda that Richard Nixon started.
Richard Nixon.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we
First
look
Bush.
at these things
Just
and
keep
we
going back,
isolate them
keep
to a
going back,
period,
keep
but
going
we don't
back.
look at them as a whole. That's what I be talking about. All these things that have been done, like Benny said, legislatively,
They're linked.
all those things still stem from slavery because they're just another way to create slavery.
I agree.
So when you come up into the peonage age, you know what I'm saying? That's a book, Slavery by Another Name.
Another Name.
So right after the end of slavery, then we make these laws that's gonna enslave black folks again so that we can have this undercurrent. So now you got TCI comes in and they're gonna tell the sheriff, we finna build a plant down here, we finna build this steel mine, and they're gonna go arrest a lot of black men. TCI come in and pay their fines, and then now you got them stuck, cause now I paid for your
Indeed.
fine, you gotta work for me, you gotta work it off, but when I feed you, I'm charging you for it. If I give you these ragtag clothes, I'm charging you for it. And you look at
Take
that,
home
that's the
$12.
basic premises of the prison system now. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, although they're different periods, you can't separate them from one another because
can't.
they're just continuations.
Recreation of it.
That goes
Recreation.
back to what we're talking about with systemic racism.
Yes, sir.
We're talking about when we was talking about earlier differences in Black Lives Matter, and that's what we was talking about earlier, is that these are the very issues that are affecting the black community that we are fighting for to try and change. But again, you still got to look at the facts of we are in a war with America based off what we are dealing with, and our family is torn apart, and we collectively have the strength and the power and the know-how of how to pull the black family back together. It starts with the women, but the men have to actually be able to stand up and be what we need to be to our families.
We gotta be
And
protected.
if it takes you putting an ink pen on it and taking them to court, whatever we got to do, we got to talk, but it's going to take some talking and some dialoguing. Because right now, America is making our community to make our women to want to be independent, and that's making men, it's a problem. So we're going to continue to get the shootings. We're going to continue to get the things that are happening with the young black males until the father takes his rightful place with the young man. He ain't necessarily got to be with the mother. We're going to fix that. We have to find ways to encourage that,
Yes,
to
sir.
encourage marriage, to encourage a young man. What they have to see, what we're failing here is that we are not showing our young people what we wish them to be. We just telling them.
Yes, sir. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
We just telling them what they need to be. And that's a problem. They don't see you doing nothing you telling them to be.
Saying it's hard to sit there and set the example. And you
At
ain't
least
doing
let
it.
them walk with you until, like you said, work with you until they break off and
Yeah.
and want to do their own thing. Got their mind right.
That's
and say, I'm
right.
gonna do this now.
That's absolutely
Yeah.
correct. That is the
And
only way
we
I
need
see
to
it working.
realize in our community that our men have more of a value than just the economic value.
That's right.
I see other women in the other races
Yes.
that deal with their men in manners that we won't deal. I know one lady, she's a chiropractor, and her husband had worked for 7 years.
Mm.
And then when he decided he was gonna go back, he decided he was gonna be a doctor, and she paid for his school out of her pocket.
Now that's a strong black woman now.
Nah, she's not black.
Oh, she ain't?
Nah.
Well, that's a strong Mexican woman,
So
a
but
white
when
woman,
you,
whatever
when you
she
deal
is.
with other races, they look at their men as more than just his only value is the first critique is what level are you on economic. It's not what type of person you are. Are you a good person? Can we build something together?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of times for us is you go get your shit together.
But see,
come
but
back
you
and
know-
see me,
but you
and
know that's-
get
Or if
together.
it hit right,
But you
shit,
know,
what it
man,
is.
that-
It hit right here. It'll be the go.
That's interesting that you say that though, because I had a conversation one time with a person that was saying the same thing. He was saying, "Well, I ain't taking no man that don't have this and have that, have this and have that." I said, "But a man can be up and he'll take a broke ass girl though."
That work.
Hey, that's
But
something.
you
That's,
rarely see a rich ass woman take a broke ass dude.
that's
Not
something to
saying-
talk about right there.
That's interesting, man.
You know, it is, and that's sad to say, but there's a lot of females that don't work, don't want to work. They just need a man to be dependent on. They're not willing to. They don't want to be a partner like that, and that's where a lot of the struggles come in at with being in a relationship for a man, because as a man, you know, you strive every day to be successful. You do everything it takes to make money, and you go home and you just want to win, and you want to have that wife or that woman that's there by your side. And the biggest fear, I don't know if all of y'all agree with me, but the biggest fear most of us men have is that what if we can't go out and make money?
That's it.
That's it.
Provider.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's what most
Everything
men.
a
Okay.
man do falls
What
into
if I
two
can't-
categories,
yeah.
provision and protection.
Yes.
What if I can't provide?
What
for
if
you
I
and
can't provide?
protect you?
That's right. And so when you have a woman that if something happens to me, the empire is dead, that's dead weight. A lot of people don't look at that as such, but there's just, it is what it is. You know, and that's a
Fall off,
problem.
That's exactly what it is.
What-
And then that could be in the reverse too.
Yes, sir.
You have women that are earning way more money than the man.
Toting dude. That's-
Yeah, and he ain't willing to support her in nothing that she's doing, and he just got his own thing. He might work a regular job, or you see, and that it goes both ways. But you know, it's just a problem now that I feel that in our community we have gotten away from creating a family where there's a head of the household and there's a woman that runs the household. It's called God's order of the home.
Yes, sir.
And until we look at it like that, we're going to always have this division in the house. Ain't no order. Our house have to have order. And so when a home is out of order, that's why we getting these shootings. That's why we getting the things that are happening. That's why we getting people that are coming up missing. Okay, there ain't no order, ain't nobody checking on nobody. Kids can stay out all night. They can go to these parties and do whatever. Ain't no order, ain't no real, you know, in my opinion, I just don't feel that there's some kind of protection that we had when we were young in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. And when we had, you know, mom and them calling checking on you, it's 10 o'clock, you need to be in this house. you
Mama
know,
ain't gotta call and check on you.
they ain't got it, but
Miss
once-
Reed
You
done
already
called
knew.
around
but
the
that was the
corner.
fear. You had a fear of
Yeah.
consequences.
For the street light coming
Yes,
on.
Yeah,
sir.
you. That's right. You had to give me an hour before the street
Hey,
light
how
come
many of y'all
on.
been doing this? You been playing football.
Yeah.
And in mid-stride, you hear that noise.
Yeah, that light come
I'ma holler
on.
at y'all.
I'ma holler at y'all. I don't want no problem.
Said the ball in there.
Yes.
And the ball in there.
And that's because you have a healthy fear of consequences. A child that doesn't have a fear of no consequences, they can walk dead in the middle of the food court and pull an AK out and start shooting.
And then, you know, again, another touchy subject. We don't want nobody else disciplining our children.
We don't want nobody. You better not say
When
nothing to
I
my
was
child.
little,
You don't
everybody
hit
in
my child.
neighborhood could
Yep.
beat my ass.
Yep.
When I was 8 and I was riding that bike,
Yep.
if you know anything about Dolomite, you know Pleasant Grove Road. I wasn't allowed to be out there by Pleasant Grove Road.
But you know why though? What you saying is perfectly right. I feel,
Yes, sir.
but I think it's like that because we have collectively just everything dispersed.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't trust nobody else, and I don't want nobody touching my child. I don't want nobody
What
saying
point
nothing
did
to
it
my
get to that though?
Education.
'Cause I've been
Education.
looking into the death of the Aboriginal families, which was the crack era.
Yeah.
I can see the switch because I remember a guy was talking about how it was in Chicago, and then we know how Chicago is, like war zone city. They even saying they believe these trains is stopping in the middle of the
Rodriguez in
city
the house.
to get the
Episode
machine
45
guns and
Op
all
Shop
that
Story.
in on purpose. But it was this guy was talking that he knew Jimi Hendrix, and he was saying in Chicago in the 60s, he was like, man, the worst thing you'll see going on in here is a woman might catch her man in one of the juke joints cheating, and she might go across his head because there wasn't no domestic violence. So I heard women and men used to like fight like crazy back then. Some were not all on, you know. But he said that's the worst you'll see. So I like, well, I know when cocaine hit real hard, crack cocaine hit, I know that left a lot of kids that try to raise their own siblings, and they doing what they do, and then probably them kids were the cool kids. So the kids that probably had moms and daddies, yeah, you telling your kid to do this, but they see the one that's doing it, having his way, is the popular kid. So it's easy. Like some kids' minds
Great
ain't
point.
strong because they got both parents, because your peers can influence you probably
Little bit
just like
stronger.
your mom and dad.
Peer pressure always harder.
Yeah.
Always tough.
And shout out to LaShawn Dow too. She said these are the grandchildren of the crack generation.
Uh huh.
Said like, you know, I remember when they used to use that term, crack babies.
Yes, sir.
You don't hear that anymore.
Yeah, no more.
But what happened to them?
Yeah.
All of them ain't in prison. All of them ain't at work.
It's
All
somebody
of them
mom
ain't
and dad.
sorry. You know, they somebody's parents.
Somebody mom and daddy.
So
Yeah,
and,
right.
and that's a lot of what they've done now is they switch the topic. So when they're saying dealing with mental issues, a lot of those mental issues come from being a drug dependent baby.
Yeah.
There's a lot going in it, man.
That's still the same.
Okay.
thing.
A lot go in it.
But we back waddling in the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But see, but you know something, Orlando? I don't think a lot of them are water. I do think some water, but I think a lot of them, it's hard for some people to move forward till you actually acknowledge what's going
We've
on.
been acknowledging that for a long
Well,
time.
But
No,
there's a
everybody-
lot of folks out there, brother, that don't know this
Yeah,
information
you
that
know-
you are dispersing. There's a lot of people out there who don't understand it on that level. And if you don't understand the history and how you got to where you at,
Yeah.
It's
you're
hard to
doomed
move
to
forward.
repeat it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's
'cause I
out
don't
there for the
believe-
next man. Soon as you tired of it and let it go and find out something better, it's out there for the next man. That ain't the immediate option now.
Oh yeah, cause
Breaking
I-
a house, sell some dope,
Yeah,
go
'cause
rob.
My
Cause I
question
don't
is
know.
always this: why are the nefarious activities the activities that are glorified?
It look good.
Yeah.
Drinking Jack
It look good. It look good,
I
man.
believe
You know.
I believe it look good, and I believe like a lot. Like I was asking this Caucasian dude this. I was asking him about like a lot of kids, like the superheroes you see, like
Yeah.
since before Black Panther, like majority of if growing up as a kid, all your heroes look like the people that passed the law. So that kind of put like a depression on your mind in its own kind of way. Like,
That's right.
The people that pass the law don't look like nothing. But
None of us.
It's like I'm looking for him to run my household. Like he telling He telling my house what I can do, but he don't look nothing like me. You know what I'm saying? Like that I don't see how we don't see that's a big problem.
That's a huge problem.
When we talking about politics.
That's a huge problem.
It's a huge problem, but I think when people are at their worst, whatever look like it make it feel better, it's easy to accept that answer too. Because think about it. Somebody saying, hey, Lando, I want you to help my child. All they saw was the success you talk about your business. So everybody want to be associated with success. So the same thing with people with drugs. Only reason why I ain't never sell no drugs, cause my pop, he ran a landscape business, some restaurants, and now he still sell real estate. I was always with him. Then my mama was 4'11" and was punching like Mike Tyson. So it was a lot of things that kept me away, but that don't mean that them cats over on 53rd Street, then them cats in Gate City and Kingston, that shit look good.
My mama was the ass of the family, and I still tried it. So I mean, it can happen. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know my mama was skinning tails left and right. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't then. You want to whoop, drop them off over Mary Hard now. Mary Brooks now.
Beat your naked ass.
Drop them off over there, but I still tried it.
That
So
we do, as a community, we keep taking these issues and we keep splintering them and making them individual issues like that don't all come back to the same
connect.
thing.
Man.
It all come back to economics.
Mm-hmm.
Because kids, everybody want to ball. Everybody want to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? So my point is that we act like that some of these things hadn't been socially engineered. We act like the ghettos just sprung up out of nowhere. When Benny was talking about the laws, I was just watching a video the other day where it talked about when the FAH first came up with the whole housing program. In the contract, black people are not to own any of this. Those houses that was $8,000 to $9,000 in the 60s that black people easily could have bought have translated to be $300,000 and $400,000 houses now. And over the course of time, from the 60s up to the 2000s, that's how a lot of the middle class and upper class built their stuff, put their children through school. But that was purposely, we're going to round these black folks up in ghettos, give them limited resources, put these drugs in here, and watch them disseminate each other. Because that's psychology 101. They did the experiment with the rats. They didn't even change the name from what Hitler did. Hitler called it the ghetto when he did it on the Jewish people. They didn't even change the name of it and put us dead in the ghetto.
Man, I heard something in the conversation. I was sitting around on the porch with some old schoolers I've been around, and they said, this is something I never heard said, even though I've been around people that lived in the projects all my life, have lived them with my sister. And all that, you know. So I've been around it, and these guys said, like, back when black people first started moving in the project, they said they was actually happy. It was crazy to hear it, though, but I was like, hold on, you got to explain that one. You got to explain.
You only associate the projects in the ghetto with the
what's happening now?
And dilapidated
the last 20 years.
All the time. My grandmama lived in Illerton. Before, when they had the separate buildings in Illerton.
The rec center was fire, the Washington laundromat.
The 20 apartments in one building. Boy, I had some of the best times of my life in Illerton Village.
Bro,
when everybody knew everybody. They was everybody cooked on Sundays. You go around everybody's house, everybody visiting and eating.
Bro, these dudes said that beach shut stand in the shotgun house any day.
That crack epidemic hit, like we talked about. I remember when they put the gates up around Illerton.
I remember when they did around Gate City. I remember all that.
You know.
So they drew us into a lifestyle that eventually evolved into, like you said, what they planned on it evolving into.
But
you know what I'm saying?
The whole point is that's their plan. And like Ferlando saying, once you know the plan, you know what they did. Now you got to stand up and do something different.
So,
raise your children.
But and to add to that, like I keep asking you about the Kavars and this pandemic, I think it's actually one of the best times in our lives. But I'm going to explain why, though. Even with Trump, I think he's the best thing for this country. Not because I like him, not because I enjoy seeing what's going on, it's because somebody can hate you so much where I say, you know what, Lando, come on, man. Let's get up off our ass.
Make you do something
You know what I'm saying? Make you do something different. And even with this, sitting at the house, can't go to school. To me, homeschool gonna be one of the best things that could have been done. Just like I'm saying, you got to watch your children now. You can't even send them to school. Whether this virus
I
real or
love it.
fake, you got to adhere to what's going on. Either you gon' what is it, barbecue a meal do?
Yes, sir.
What the fuck
you
that
take
mean?
them
That
to
shit
work.
sound like it match.
Yes, sir.
But it for real. So you know, I think it's been great. Like for me, I don't eat out as much as no more. Cause like it wasn't enough for me to spend between $500 and $800 a month eating out.
Yes, sir.
Cause I do a lot of business meetings and we gonna eat what we want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't looking at the meal, I'm eating what I want. So but that can also be costly.
Yeah.
So sitting at the house had the opportunity to pay off a lot of little unnecessary stuff. Actually, even though I always been mature and I'm with my wife, you know what I'm saying? But I actually know mature just a little bit more than I did
Yes, sir.
because I work shit 20, 21 hours out of the day,
Yes, sir.
sleep 2 hours and be right back at it. You know what I'm saying? That's just being real. But being at the house now, you done had a chance to fix stuff that was broke. You done had a chance to hold real conversation because y'all was stuck there with each other. That's why I say it was a great thing. Even with Trump, all that racial shit that he's spewing is actually making people start businesses, support businesses. Even if they don't mean that
All
shit. You've been forced to, and it's almost going back to what it was. That's why when I hear people say they pray, that's cool. But shit, you don't know how it's gonna come back.
Faith without works is dead.
You know what
Come
I'm
on.
saying? You may pray
Come on.
and end up having to fight. But
Yes,
you
sir.
ask for a result.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah, you
say
just don't know how it's gonna
I tell
come.
people, I said, I don't care in the Bible, wherever you look at in the Bible,
They were turning like dry
they
shit.
turning like dry shell.
Yep.
The Lord with them, but they fight on
Oh
their
yeah.
own.
There wasn't no choice.
With no choice.
No change comes without a little bloodshed.
They call it personal responsibility.
Yep. That's right.
You gotta
Would
take
you-
personal responsibility for your family. And
So-
we got one thing that we say as more as Americans that Noble Drew Ali said, we have to learn to love instead of hate.
That's right.
Dog. And when you use that word love, we've become a people that has looked at the word and made the word love pacifist. Love ain't pacifist. I love my son enough to bust your head wide open to keep you from harming you.
True
You know
that.
what I'm saying? I love my brother to look at him and to be able to work with him without ill intentions. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta understand what love is and start working from a place of love and loving each other as men. And in our community, a lot of times it's hard for men to deal with that. They say that, hey, I love this brother right here. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta start looking at these situations from love. And when we look at that from that perspective, and I look at, even if she ain't my wife, or we didn't make it, she had my secret. And I love her enough to not bring no harm to her.
I think some of them love them until they get hit with about 12, 7 a month for the one child. And goddamn, that bring a lot of separation.
I say this though, baby.
I don't even be
I
mad
say
no
this-
more.
That goddamn
I say this
yourself.
though, dog. What does that matter? Because, like Ferlando, is it Ferlando?
Ferlando.
Ferlando will tell you, hey, bro, it costs more money to raise these children than pay child support.
Oh
song.
yeah, it does.
You know what I'm
Song.
saying? Now, if they live in
Ooh.
your
There's
house,
some
bro,
nigga around her face scratched out like I 20 now. I ain't gonna lie for most, you right, but it's some around her where I was like, why you always so mad? He showed me that check, so I said, yeah, you need to be mad. Matter of fact, take this with you.
Some months it costs a little more
Yeah.
than others.
yeah.
I agree.
But I agree with what Ferlando saying wholeheartedly. Our men got to stand up and learn how to be responsible.
Till we go there, it ain't gonna get better.
Yeah, but one thing I will say though, in reference to that, I agree with Lando wholeheartedly. That's why he here. You know what I'm saying? We don't invite guests. We don't feel like they got no insight. But I will say this here: the one thing we must understand is that these folks been legislating, passing laws, killing, cutting dicks off, separating horses for years.
Yes, sir.
It ain't gonna take 2.5 weeks and a couple
No.
arguments to change it back. So as long as we know we're in a fight, you can actually progress the fight as you go and understand where you are. But I think some people do one or two things or go to church twice and shout and think all this supposed to change. It ain't gonna happen that way.
I think the solution is easy. The solution, again, it goes back to magnifying, glorifying, amplifying fatherhood. Whether that be in music, whether that be in advertising, whether that be in schools, whether that be in jails, prisons, wherever. Fatherhood has to find a way towards the forefront. Once we get that down, I think we'll be in a better direction.
Yeah.
Because you're going to start seeing men looking
Start
more
changing.
attractive than women.
Yes, sir.
Because number one, he taking time out with his child now.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you'll have more women willing to be more submissive and willing to be able to work with the man, because the man is not only spending time with his child, fatherhood, but he's also willing to pay whatever he have to pay. He have to pay. The man got to be a man.
For
I heard,
good.
a girl told me just 2-3 days ago that the son had some kind of baseball game or some kind of ball game, and the dad won't even show up. Dad won't even come to the game, man. And I said, "Are you serious?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "I just have to do what I got to do with my kids."
I know some
Yeah.
person,
But I'm a father that been kept away from my daughter since she was 4.
Yeah.
My mom was bitter, and she the one that left me. You know what I'm saying? Bring out of town, and then she kept my daughter away from my mom, kept my daughter away from me. My daughter is pregnant right now, and she just letting her come back to me. I guess since she ain't got pregnant now, you don't want to hold her, against me. So she got in touch with me. We've been talking like we talk.
That's good,
almost
though.
every day. I shoot down to, she was in Jacksonville, then moved to Mississippi, so even closer. Jacksonville, Florida was like 9. And I even went down there trying to get, and it still ain't wored out. So
I'd have took her all the way through the court system. I'd have took her all the way through the court. That's how I got custody of mine. I ain't play with her.
We did the court thing. She came up there and took me off.
Off what?
Child support.
Well, that's fine. You still could took the court for visitation and all that. You would have got all that. Oh, they don't care nothing about it. They ain't nothing but money.
No, I'm talking about that whole ideology that the child's supposed to be with the woman, that is gone.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
Oh, yeah.
I went down there.
Ink pen, man. A pen is mightier than a sword.
I showed her the $5,000 lawyer. And the judge said, Mr. Hall, you take your children and you do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I raised them.
It'd have been a court order.
I worked for 10 years.
And if she'd have broke the court order, they'd
took
took her to jail. Straight up. See, that's what I was talking about earlier. Men taking their rightful place. Some men don't know that they have the right to their child. So it takes a real man to say, you know what? How much the child support? Good. I'll do what I need to do to handle it. But I need to deal with. I need to be able to raise my child. We see what we teaching men is that you gonna be put on child support. Oh my God, I don't want to be on child. So you basically saying you don't want to take care of your child. That's basically what you teach him. And what happens is when he gets a young lady pregnant, he gets that mode going where he badly helping her, and then when she is forced to put him on child support because the agencies make them put them on child support. When you getting food stamps from the government and any kind of public assistance, they want to know where the father is. That's right. And so they taking stimulus checks too. They doing all that.
Oh yeah.
Yo, so basically,
they busting folks up.
yeah. So as a father, if you ain't paying no child support, you have put that woman in a position where she has no choice but to fend for herself, live with her mama, or try and get somebody to help her raise the child. And you walk away and you got a whole new girl, and you pitching in and helping the new girl with her children that ain't yours.
What about the ones that don't even want the money? Like, she ain't want the money.
That ain't up to her.
I would
Listen, let me tell you something.
They were cutting it out. I ain't care about the money.
Oh, well then I would have let it go. I wouldn't even ask no.
But she came back up here and took me out.
And I'm gonna tell you what the play with that was. That was so that you would have to say something.
Yeah, because
She can't do that by herself, though.
Was,
If you go-
the summer came around,
Man,
she sent her to
that is not true.
mama house up
Yeah.
here, right? So I'm like, she supposed to be with me for the summer because we were married. It had the breakdown.
Oh, you ought to call the sheriff department right there. Time she said no.
Every Christmas and we rotate the birthday because they knew she was making that trip to Florida.
I would have called the sheriff department right when she told me that first no, wouldn't have made it to the second no.
But see,
When you got paperwork like that,
But Lando, I agree. I have no disagreement. But as a barber, I have heard some situations where dudes been fighting just as hard as you and been fucked over. Thoroughly.
well,
All
I
of it
don't
ain't
understand
cookie
it.
cutter. Well, yeah, I mean, because it ain't cookie cutter. Well, boom, I call the law, boom, they straighten it out. Man, I seen the dude.
You gotta go back to court.
I seen the dude, but also too, when does it come to a point where do I just kill my livelihood?
For
You
what?
know what I'm saying? I mean, because you got to remember, every time you go to court, it costs. I know a dude, and I heard a
Not
couple
necessarily.
Yeah.
Not family court.
But
I don't know
had
now.
for my children.
You don't have to. Listen, man.
My children mother didn't pay not one child support.
Yeah.
And I didn't pay not one
Nothing
lawyer.
about no
Every
child
time,
support.
look, every time and I ain't pay no lawyer every time I went.
That's what I'm
to family
telling you.
court to file, for them to get out of her check, it cost me $75 every time. I'm going to school. I'm like you, bro. I'm on food stamp.
Yeah.
I ain't got no problem when it comes to these children.
That's right. That's absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I was all out of the food stamp. I'll be trying to holler at somebody that I know.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
on,
Whatever.
But
Yeah, man.
every time I went down there to get her to pay her child support, that's $75 out of my pocket.
Yeah.
After the seventh time, I said, man, I ain't following that.
Yeah, because I done heard quite a few of them situations where cats go down there, they do all the proper paperwork, and they just wouldn't enforce it like they would have done it the opposite
But
way.
it depends on what the proper paperwork is too now.
Well, I
Gotta
mean,
stay
but
consistent.
Yeah, you got to have documentation of what you talking
Well,
about.
well, that's
'Cause
true.
see, that's
Well-
an umbrella.
well, that's true. But what I'm saying is, just like you saying, you put in proper documentation and made it right.
Yeah.
It is people who put in proper documentation that has been fucked over too.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I'm saying is, it is some
Everybody
situations
reported to
that's
me.
out here. Something else, like this one guy, he was telling me about. He was like, man, he got put in child support. He adjusted, so he worked overtime to get himself together. Came down, put him back on after he got married, and they based the shit off his overtime. He went in there with a lawyer. So it's like, how you base my shit
That
on
ain't
my
getting
overtime?
that ain't getting messed over right
No,
now.
well, yes, it is.
No,
getting
it's
messed
not.
up because overtime is not guaranteed.
Maybe not.
You may have 2-3 months you did overtime.
True.
Then you gonna base me making, let's just say, $2,000 a week out.
That's,
and I only really
but he
make
could have went back to
$1,200.
court and he could have went back to court with that. He could have took that back to court to show all of what you saying.
So what if
Everything.
he went back to court and the judge ruled against it?
They ain't gonna go against it, but now they won't.
Yes, they will.
No, they won't.
Yes,
Wait,
they will.
no, they won't.
Yes,
If you
so they lie.
listen, if you on child support, if you are on child support and you are ordered to pay $1,000 a month, right? Okay, and you are gainfully employed, right? All right. So if you get unemployed, they're gonna require that you still pay the $1,000. We get it.
Okay.
However, if you take $20 down now, they can't do nothing to you.
So that's not up to the judge.
No.
Lando. Come
No,
on, man.
I'm
It
trying
is
to
up
tell
that
you.
judge,
No,
bro.
it's, no,
Yes,
no.
it
You're
is, Lando.
not letting me finish.
You ain't let me finish. But I'm gonna listen to you though, cause you are the guest.
Okay, if you take $20 down now, $25. If you ain't making no money, you just unemployed. You can only pay what you can pay. Now, if you take $25 down now for 2-3 months, as long as you making some kind of payment, they can't arrest you, they can't put no warrant on you or nothing. It's when it is neglected and not being handled. We're gonna start right now, okay? When you are not working like that, you basically can submit to the county clerk to go back to court to show that you have been unemployed. You can show where you've made strides to get a job. Had interviews, had these people you interviewing with sign off and everything, had interviews. You go back to court and you're able to show that your allotment needs to be adjusted. He may not agree with you. He may give you more time to find employment or whatever. However, what you are doing is documenting every move you make on the checkerboard. It's when you at home lax with that mindset and you asking for an adjustment, and they clearly say, oh no, what they go by in child support is what you are able or potentially can earn. They don't go by, oh, you made $20 this week. Okay, we're just gonna drop you down this week. You go over there and make $1,000 next week. They not gonna try and catch back up. That's just what they do.
Yeah, the way they're supposed to do it, it's supposed to be a formula.
You see, that's the word. That's the word there. Supposed.
It's
What
supposed
you
to be
saying is supposed to happen.
But see,
that don't always happen.
No, it's not. Let me tell you why. If you could be rich, you could be making $1 million a year. They gonna base the child support off that. That's just how it is. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. I may make $200 a month. They gonna base my child support off that. If I'm on disability, they cut me off child support. I don't have to pay child. If I was working and end up on disability, they cut child support off.
Yeah, because
You do no
really
longer
don't
have
send that
to.
child
Matter
a
of
check.
fact, people who are out here on disability can make babies and don't have to pay child support. Period.
Because the
And they
government,
do.
once you're
Yeah,
on
I agree.
disability, the government will send that child.
They gonna get that
his
check.
own
They gonna
check.
send
Yeah.
them a little change.
Yeah.
My dad was on disability.
Yeah.
They used to send me
If
a
you
check
can be
every month.
disabled, if you can't work, as long as you can go ahead and have all the babies you want to have when you on disability. That's the direct truth. You don't believe me? Go to court and ask. They'll tell you. But that's just the way it is. Now, again, as a man, if I know I have a child and I know I've been trying to pay, the number one thing I won't do, my mother taught me this, I won't do is be working it out across the kitchen table trying to pay money to the girl about my child without any documentation. And if you do that, you should be writing it in a check form and putting on the check child support in the child's name. So when she basically goes to the bank, cashes that check with the child support written on it, that is an endorsement that you have paid the child support. You get the council check and keep it stored. I remember years ago I went to court for child support, and they told me I hadn't paid no child support. I was paying her directly. However, I was paying her in checks. I pulled his shoebox up on the table, picked them up out of there, and fanned them across the table. And it had her signature on every last one of them, where I was paying her directly.
Straight that favor.
And he looked at the man looked at them. He said, "Well, Miss Park, can you look at these and figure out which one of these you did not sign?" And he got up because I had him to the right.
And I done seen it work the other way.
Proper documentation for child support.
I go down there with a shoebox.
Yeah, listen, man.
Told said them gifts.
Man, listen. Man, as a man,
Change at a certain time or
Listen.
something.
Order has to be in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't disagree, but I have said it ain't just cookie cutter all the time.
well, it may not be, but if you ain't handling your business,
I tell young brothers this: when you have a baby with a girl, whether y'all together or not, go down there and put yourself on child.
thank you.
Go
I
down
rest
and
my
put yourself
case.
on child support,
I rest
and go
my
ahead and
case.
get your visitation
I rest my case.
situated. Get that done from the
I
beginning.
rest my case.
You know what I'm saying? Because the baby could be, you can have a baby could be 2 years.
Yep.
If they don't have no order, then you have no right. So you
'Cause
talk
you ain't
about,
been
"I've
deemed the
doing this
father."
for 2 years, but there's no order on the
And you
book,
back and forth
so
arguing
there's no
with 'em.
established visitation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
Now,
you ain't pitch in on the birthday party.
Because I've
Yeah,
been
I ain't
in
gonna lie,
that,
dog.
I've been in that predicament
I
before
feel
when
y'all,
what
but I
they
ain't
You ain't
supposed
coming
to
here
do.
showing them
ain't
checks.
Yeah, I
what
ain't
they
just signed
supposed
up
to
no
do and
child
what they
support.
actually do is different sometimes.
I ain't just signed up no
Yeah.
child support
Depending on
on the top.
who
Why?
window you walk up to.
Nah.
Why wouldn't you? Hold up,
I mean,
y'all.
I feel.
Why
I
wouldn't
mean,
you? Hold up.
Why wouldn't I
No,
just
let me
sign
ask the
myself
question.
up
Let me
child
ask the,
support?
before you answer.
Okay.
Let me ask you the question. If you know you laid down with a woman and you had a baby, or well, she had a baby, and she said you are the father of her baby. Now I know you ain't took no blood test or nothing like that.
But we gonna take the paternity test.
Yeah, but we just gonna hypothetically say that y'all took the paternity test and you know that's your child, right?
Okay.
All right. So now she getting money from you on a regular, right? And she wants you to pitch in on a birthday party, and they going on a trip to Florida that costs $2,500, and she need $800 from you, right? And you just so happen to say, "Well, I ain't got $800." Now you tripping to her. You tripping.
Okay.
Now the child support could be $400, but you tripping because you ain't got $800. Now that was last week. Now here she come again. He needs some shoes for school because school about to start. We just went on this trip. Now that's getting more than what you would have paid over here. We're just gonna be frank, right? So let's just say you keeping up with all that and you paying it, right? You doing all that. You doing whatever she say. And then one day you ain't got it. She go down there and put you on child support. And you go to saying, "Well, Your Honor, no, because I paid for him to go on a trip. Them shoes he got on, I paid for all that." Sir, those are gifts. So now you done lost all that money to count toward it, right? They're going to go back to when she filed and you owe.
But they'll do that even if you had documentation. They'll go back to
No,
when
no,
she
no,
first filed.
no, they won't. No, they won't. Not with documentation.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no, no, they won't.
Yeah,
No, they won't.
all right, so you
Now,
gonna
it depends on your it depends on your definition of documentation. Remember, my documentation was cash checks.
Okay, so you don't think so? You think I'm just sitting up and talking to you because I just want to make the conversation fast?
No, sir.
So what I'm saying is that I've heard it both ways. I've heard guys
Wait.
like you come out on the winning end, and I've heard guys sit there and do that same thing with the checks because I made a suggestion to one of them. And when they got to court, the court case started 10 months later, and when she was awarded, it started from the day she filed.
So where was the checks from?
So he started off $6,000 in the hole.
But where was it?
Yes.
But hold up. See, something ain't being said right.
Well, no, the judge, because you got to remember, in this courtroom, he's only going to allow what he want to allow.
No,
whether
but you
it's
ain't.
legal
But
or not.
well,
And we know this.
no, okay, but hold on. Thank you.
That's true.
Hold
But-
on.
but we didn't say
Hold
that.
up. Wait a minute. Wait a
That's
minute
what that
now.
was.
You said, I'm gonna make sure I'm hearing you right.
Yeah.
You said she filed while he was paying her off.
No, I didn't say that.
That's what I
said
thought.
I
Okay.
said she went down there and filed because she
But
could've got him
when?
to do.
See, here go this the magic answer. When? Cause see, if I'm paying on a check on, remember I told you I fanned mine out there.
Okay.
So you can't tell me I owe nothing when it's been paid right here. So where does this money go?
So the world fair now.
That ain't what I asked. Well,
Is the world fair
Well,
now?
they got to be fair, but by law it's fair.
Man, come on, man.
Man,
So
by
now-
law
now-
you got to have an attorney.
By law,
Then. If
it
that's the
should
case, you can file a lawsuit and win.
Well, you can. But see, all right, so when you sue the city, the state, or the county, do they have to allow you to sue them?
What you mean allow you to sue them? You
So,
can sue the
but
state
no.
of Alabama.
So you can sue, but will they allow you to sue?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is,
You take that to
can't-
federal, all the way
you-
to the Supreme Court.
what-
Yes.
If you have the funding to do that, true.
The
But-
funding.
But what I'm saying is, Lando,
I'm
we
listening.
both know this.
Okay.
Even with the city, let's just say in the city of Birmingham, you can't sue them unless they allow you to sue them.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
That's not true.
They have
Yes,
to,
it is.
they have
They
to-
have to allow
That's
you
not
to
true.
sue
That's
them.
not true.
And the state.
You can
if
sue the
something-
city
if
of
something-
Birmingham.
If something
Yeah,
happens,
you can put in a
yeah,
lawsuit.
you
can
can,
file a
but
lawsuit.
they have to allow
They have to
you
grant
to
the permission
sue them.
to take it to court.
Who?
Yes.
You don't file no lawsuit with the city.
No, what I'm
No,
saying
you
is,
can go get you a lawyer.
You can file, yes.
And file a lawsuit
You can file a
against the
lawsuit,
city.
yes.
And they'll
But
sue
they
you
have to
without
allow you to
saying.
sue.
Wait a minute.
They
Wait a
have to allow
minute.
you to sue.
This lady just, wait a minute.
They
This
gonna
lady,
take the case.
Yeah, when you put in a lawsuit, right, and then you got to go through some more folks to say either we're gonna accept this lawsuit or not.
it ain't you file a lawsuit. You don't
I'm
apply for a lawsuit.
No, I understand that. We're saying the same thing, but I tell you this though, when you look into it,
You're not applying for
when
it.
you-
Y'all
when
live
you-
at home right now.
I'm trying to tell you, man, you have to when you sue a state, they have to allow you to sue them.
That's
I know in
not true.
Alabama. All right, well, it's
You
not
You
sue
can
true.
as
file,
far
you
as
can
the
go
state.
above them.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably can do
You
that.
can file a
You-
federal
you-
lawsuit then. If
You
that's the
probably
case,
can, but also when you go to a higher court, you got to go through all them little processes before you get there.
what's the problem? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about
You talking about you go through them little? What's the definition of them little process?
them little courts. So you got lower courts all the way to a higher court.
Okay.
Right? Your highest court,
Yeah.
your highest court is the Supreme.
Oh, you're
Right?
right.
The highest court
Yeah.
in the state is the
Hold
state
up,
Supreme
hold up.
Court.
Okay.
Right.
process is
The
that
Hold up.
highest court federally
But hold
is
up.
the federal Supreme
Right.
Court.
Well,
But
Okay.
they still decide what cases they're
They-
going
they
to.
want-
When
Yeah.
they're not listening though,
The
he said I had to
process of that
file.
money.
Okay, listen to this. He said you have to file with them other little courts, right?
Okay.
If I file with little court number one and they
Okay.
say nope, denied, I got
Go to the
paperwork.
next
I got paperwork.
All right.
I go to the next one. Nope, denied. I go to the next one. Nope, denied. So I'm gonna keep doing. People file lawsuits on President Trump. People file lawsuits on the federal government.
Miss McConnell won't hear them though.
That's
So,
not.
I mean, what difference?
No,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a violation of the
That-
constitutional rights, man. Come on,
It's
man.
about, I mean, there's a lot of
It's
stuff
gotta be
about
admitted
it,
in
man.
court.
Now, it's got to be admitted in court. How you gonna sit up and tell me they gonna tell you, oh
But
no?
this is what I say, dude. I always say this, and we get into these type of discussions like this. Like, that ain't been the plan from the beginning. They always been mistreating us like this. So my question is, how do you go to the bully to get the bully to stop beating you up?
You know what? It's starting to sound like a we. You know, I posted it this morning. Negative people got a problem for every solution.
Yeah.
That's what it's starting to sound
Well, let
like.
me ask you this
If
question:
it-
Where the negative
Not
people
just
at?
that, Ferlando, you can't go into these situations ignoring the circumstances that are there.
But
It's
what
like
I'm hearing
going
from
to-
y'all is that, okay,
I'm
but
going-
listen, every time I say this, the solution is you can file a lawsuit. Well, that may not work.
No,
But you know they'll kick. Oh, let me finish, B. Let me finish.
All
They-
right.
But what also you know they'll kick the CAG up out there and slap the shit at you too.
Okay.
So
You gotta be allowed to sue, man.
Well, no, but see,
Gotta
but
be
what,
allowed.
but
hold
what,
up. No, so this also is a fear tactic to have me like, okay, then what's
no, ain't no. Well, first of all, let's go ahead and clear some up. I ain't scared of shit. I've been self-employed 22 years, man. That's 2 decades plus 2.
I
So I
understand
ain't scared
that.
of nothing.
I understand
but
that.
I cannot ignore.
But the conversation,
real.
the conversation,
I can't
still,
ignore what's real, bro.
I know what's real too.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, so both of them can't be real.
But no, that's not the-
You speaking of your experience, and I'm speaking
No,
of
I'm
what
speaking.
can happen as well.
I understand that, but
That's
what
all.
what doesn't make sense to me is you saying that if you go down there and file a lawsuit, they might tell you to get the hell out of there.
You ain't gonna put no
They
words
gonna
on
say
it.
y'all out.
I said that with his
They ain't gonna allow them to say you know what you call.
That what they
You
think.
said something important earlier. You said we have to realize we're in a war. And when you're in a war, you have to understand strategy and objectives.
Right.
So you have different, you can't just say, okay, I'm gonna do this and they're gonna make it good. You gotta have, okay, if I do this and that don't work, then we go into plan B. If that don't work, we go into plan C. If that don't work, we go into plan D. But we can't go down there and just say, okay, I'm gonna go down there and file this and everything.
Yeah, a judge gonna have to hear the
On my way.
case.
Yeah.
A judge gonna have to hear the case.
Are you familiar with the reparation case that's in court now?
Yeah.
You familiar with it?
No, well, no.
So you okay with the one with Claude Anderson?
Who heard it?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I know what you're talking about.
But basically, what I'm saying
Who
is
heard
Claude Anderson was speaking on the same thing,
Yeah.
and very smart dude. We brought him down here a few years ago, and he was saying all them lawyers that they had. He said every judge wouldn't hear their case.
Yeah, we get it.
And me, I was saying the same thing. Saying they got to
But
hear.
because it sounds like something that got to be passed through Congress, in my opinion.
But see, when you ain't tied to no nation, Congress ain't gonna hear you.
Well, you are a nation.
No, we ain't.
What do you
When,
mean?
when we
Hold on.
black and you
What does
African
nationality
Oh,
American,
another podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole other
What
podcast.
does
That's-
nationality mean? Nationality means that you are of a specific nation. Show me what a nation of African American is. Show me what a nation of black is. Italians are tied to Italy. Germans are tied to Germany. Show me what a nation of Negro is. That is not a nation.
So basically, when they wrong you, ain't nobody, you know, ain't
So
nothing
we
standing for,
start-
ain't nobody
and
standing for nothing.
and
This is
I don't-
unproductive.
I don't work with.
You know why it's
I say I
unproductive?
won't work with.
Hold on.
It's a conversation.
Hold on. You said it's unproductive, but I got to say this: it's unproductive when they talking about his nationality because maybe you don't understand what.
That's
they're
not
talking
what I'm
about.
speaking of.
Okay, I just want to clear
Well,
that
let
up.
me clear-
Because
well,
when
let me-
people-
well, let
so
me-
when people say that, a lot of times they may not be into that, or they may not know what you're talking about. At the time,
I'm not
so
even addressing
they don't
him about anything he
No,
said
not him in
because he's
particular.
right.
Not him
I'm
in
just
particular,
speaking
just-
I'm just speaking in general.
Uh-huh.
In general, the conversation that we're having, I'm just tell you, wait for Ferlando
Yeah.
thing. Anytime I'm in a conversation, whether that be a man or a woman, I'm going towards something.
Solution.
What this has turned into, and what I'm listening to, has turned into a round circle of excuses and whatever, and we
no,
just
no
ain't
excuse.
nothing we can do. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're
We
not
just,
saying
Who made
that.
the excuse?
I'm just
Who
telling.
made the excuse?
I'm giving an opinion.
You know what I'm saying? Who made this
So
excuse?
You're
this-
like
not
that?
listening.
This is the portion you
I
gotta
wanna hear that.
understand, Ferlando. So with the instruction that you just gave, if somebody goes down to the courthouse tomorrow and follow that instruction to the T, and they don't get the result that you
I didn't
said-
say that.
Hold on. No,
I ain't
I
say
didn't
that.
say you said that.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if someone was to go down and follow what you said,
Yes, sir.
and they don't get the results that they think they should get,
Mm-hmm.
then they are deterred all the way because they're saying
Some are.
this was the solution.
Some
That
are.
didn't work. So we're not saying anything different than what you're saying. We're saying you just have to look at all these possibilities so you can prepare yourself to deal with all of them.
That's what happened in this
regardless of
Well,
how far-
every case is going to be
Yeah.
different,
Yeah, of course.
but that's not my point.
Yeah.
None of that is my point. My point is that What I heard is that you can go down to the courthouse and they ain't got to take your case.
That
For
is
me,
right.
That's true.
You like you said, you don't go to the courthouse. You go to a lawyer,
that's
file a lawsuit.
That's what I'm getting at.
That
Let me
lawyer
back it
files a
up.
lawsuit with the court.
That's what I'm saying.
They can
That's
deny
what-
that. They can deny it. They can deny that.
Deny
suit.
what?
They can deny that, or they can deny that lawsuit
Especially when
coming
you
across
file
a
against the
judge's
city or the
desk.
That
They
don't
can
make
deny that.
sense. That don't make
You
sense.
Yeah, I'm speaking. I'm a person that got one of them letters, man. I'm not telling you nothing
But something
that we
doesn't sound
guessing
right.
or making excuses about.
But we make it.
What you want to hear that don't? What
See-
you think I'm leaving out?
Well, one thing you're over talking about elevating your voice.
I'm just loud.
I know it.
Come
but
on.
it's hard.
I'm
to
just
come-
loud.
Dialogue is one thing and debate is another.
Well, wasn't nobody talking when I started talking, so that's why I said what I said.
I got it.
But like you said, you can file a lawsuit with a lawyer in a lawyer's office.
I know that.
You can take that. You can have that lawyer to file that lawsuit with the courts
That lawsuit.
in the city.
Well, let's
The
get,
lawsuit that you're filing, and the lawsuit cannot make it to a judge's desk because it's not being admitted in court, bro.
Okay,
That's true.
Okay, well,
and that's all we say. Ain't no excuse been made by nothing. But I'm gonna let you have the floor. The mic, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to interrupt nothing you have to say, but I wanted to be clear about what I said.
Oh, I heard everything you said.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get specific. Because it sounds like what we're doing is I say it again, or maybe I'm not clear enough. Umbrella statements. We're covering everything with statements. And we're sweeping any and all dissective styles and particulars and colors of cases up under one umbrella and making a statement for them.
No, you can't do that.
All right. So all I'm saying is let's get specific with cases, types of cases that can be heard.
Okay.
So instead of us just wiping everybody's case off the
Well, that's
table,
what we was on though. That's what we was on. The conversation led to it coming out that way. It ain't like we just started off saying, because we still haven't said a specific type of case. I haven't said one time what my case was. I said I filed a lawsuit with a lawyer.
I got that.
Yeah.
All right. I heard that. Again, the specifics. Now, keyword I heard you say, a lawsuit. All right. Specifically, I have not heard the type. So again,
Make it different.
Right. So all I'm saying is when I'm hearing a statement of, see, I could be talking in my mind. I'm talking about a case that I know gonna go through. I already know it can be filed. It ain't even a question.
I guess.
So when we bring up, well, what if I wanted to file a case? See, every case ain't admissible in certain courts, or certain things is not just can't be heard. Period. We get that. All right. So when you take that particular situation of color of paint and just start painting everything with that paint right there, it's making it look like everything being done that way.
No, we don't want to do that.
Okay,
we
right.
want to be specific.
There we go.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying, Benny, is that when you have a certain particular child support situation, it can be filed in court based upon the specifics. Whether we want to hear it or not, the judge cannot just big boy you and kangaroo court you like that by law. When you got a attorney, and then you could take it further than family court. You could take it to the state Supreme Court. You could take it to the county, whatever, the federal level, and you could keep going all the way up to Washington or whatever you got to do with a certain case.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that I found, which is a flaw in the family court situation, is that when you get there, there are certain things that they could take a man in there, don't even ask him if he got an attorney or nothing. Sat him down, ask him for his check stubs, talk about whatever he got going on, strike and build a defense, or build an offense against him without him even knowing it. Take him on in the courtroom in front of the judge and slaughter him without him even knowing he could have had a lawyer. Now, to me, I think that's a violation of constitutional rights. There's a lot of things that I can see clearly on what you're saying as wrong or what have you. However, it still goes back to fatherhood. It still goes back to us as men that know the wrongs and rights and do's and don'ts to teach our young men. Rod over here said a few minutes ago about something he did not know. He said he didn't know he can go back to court and file and get visitation and fight for cuss. There's a lot of stuff he just didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know anything about child support myself.
Okay.
I'm sorry, he helped me to something.
Okay, so with him not knowing that, what I said to him a few minutes ago, obviously it educated him and enlightened him into a point where he knows better, what he could have done differently. It may be too late, may not be too late. But there are people who are listening to this podcast, obviously, could be in the same boat he was in, and they in it now. So when we start painting stuff with a brush, we got to be careful because everybody go, well, shit, ain't no need of me.
But Lando, like I said, you spoke for yourself and I speak for myself.
Yes, sir.
I'm standing here. I ain't just watching it.
I know.
And it ain't just no comments. What I'm saying is, the only reason why that came up is because you got to know all the possibilities. That's the same thing I say about history. Like when people say, oh, don't worry about them statues, don't worry about why you even talking about it. But at the same time, all of it plays its role.
Absolutely.
And like I said, all of it ain't cookie cutter. Nobody here that I know is actually making no excuses. But there are reasons. And it is a difference with that. People do make excuses, but a lot of people do have reasons on why it's happening. That don't mean they stop the fight, but that don't stop them from talking about what's going on that's hindering them. I ain't say stopping. That could be hindering them. So
well, I
I
think when you have a case that you want to submit to the court, Supreme Court or family court or whatever, it's always going to be strategic. It's always going to be where you got to file. I remember when you ain't have to pay a dime to file anything down. Like you said, $75. I remember you just get the paper, fill out what you want, turn it in, and they'll do what they do. Now I think you got to pay $100 or something like that to file anything in family court. And so I guess that puts the seriousness in the matter. And so, but the point is that it's there and it's possible. And I went back to when we was talking, when y'all was saying, well, what's the solution or where do we start at? And I said education, and I don't know if nobody heard me or not, but the education, based on what Rob was saying a few minutes ago, if he was educated enough to know some of the things he could have done, this is what we need to be starting at with these young black men. Again, that's just one area. Yeah, that's just one area, right? So we talk about that. We talk about financials. We're talking about teaching young black men how to earn money and have a skill. No, a trade, my bad. A trade. You teaching a young black male how to earn money, whether that be cut grass, do plumbing, do flooring, paint, whatever. There are a lot of business owners out here that could take, like I was talking about, I do earlier, under their wing and put some of these young men to work and teach them things at a young age if they ain't nothing but an intern or just somebody just riding along just for a lollipop. It don't matter, but they learning how to do something with their hands. That's where I was starting at with this. And so when you start looking at things like that and what we can do to strengthen and educate each other as in each other's children, as a matter of fact, young men and women can do it too with the young girls or what have you. Teach them how to be ladies and how to how to carry themselves. It ain't just the men, it's the girls too. See, we are talking about the same things and we're discussing the same things, but majority of it is discussion. And I just don't see or hear, and usually when I'm in a conversation with anybody and we're talking about a problem and it's starting to last a little bit too long and ain't going toward a solution, it's starting to sound like a vent session. And so, and then I start retreating a little bit and going, well, let me just let it go as it's going. And so we ain't no, I'm an action person. I'm the kind of person that if you feel...
Yeah, but actions come from a lot of different ways, though, Lando. Yeah. It's just like the debate when people talk about people protesting or going on fight. Both of them are important. Yeah. That don't mean that both of them are not right. They just may be not your approach.
Wait a minute, say that again.
All right.
Going on and fight.
Yeah,
so the Malcolm X versus Martin Luther King.
Like to me, like when people say,
I'm Malcolm.
When people say Malcolm X was better than Dr. King, to me, I think both of them was one and the same. Because one thing about it, just as well as you need them niggas who turning like a drive shaft, you need a nigga who to stand in there and represent you. Just as well as you need somebody who to say, bro, I ain't taking this shit, I'm ready to fight, you need somebody to say, hold on, let me go in there first. You know what I'm saying? All of it's needed. You know what I'm saying? All of it plays its role. Now, we can downplay one or the other depending on what position you on. Because I hear a lot of niggas say they'll take the Malcolm approach, but stuff still happening now. Where you at? So what I'm saying is you need all of them. So that's what I'm saying. I ain't disagreeing with nothing you're saying, but like I said from the beginning, it is not cookie cutter.
And
All
then
of them
too,
play their role.
You need a full picture.
Yeah.
You know, everybody talk about Dr. King being nonviolent. Dr. King's whole language changed right before they killed him.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
He was on a different wavelength, so we didn't get to see the entirety of what he would have resulted to if what he had started failed.
Well,
That's interesting.
So, but to what you're saying, Ferlando, I agree with you wholeheartedly. You gotta be solution derived.
Yeah.
You gotta have a solution, but within that solution,
Now-
you can't forget the problem in the history
This-
of what
this-
you're trying to salute.
even Martin Luther King saw what he was doing wasn't working.
Yeah.
All right. So when I heard that scenario, I'm thinking about. I think and speak in parables a lot. Hey, I'll call you back, man. I'm meeting. I speak in parables a lot because it's quicker to get an understanding pretty quick. When we were young boys, if you can imagine in school, high school, or whatever, the Martin Luther King approach and all that talking gonna keep the bullet messing with you and jumping on you, doing little stuff, right? But the minute you slap the hell out one of them and beat them and punch them and all that, you get to turn in with one of them, they ain't gonna be too quick to fool with you no more, right? Mm-hmm. That's the Malcolm approach. See, Malcolm like, man, they shoot one of us, we shooting back. Mm-hmm. They mess with one of us, we popping back. See, at some point, we gonna get some understanding.
But you know, at some point, paperwork do have to play its role.
Paperwork and all, that's not my problem.
Yeah, no, so that's what I'm saying.
Oh, the paperwork will be at the table with some blood and with some bandages. Okay, man. So what happened, man? So all right, man. I ain't gonna do it no more. So then we get to the paperwork.
I feel you, but the paperwork in the country we stay in, and under the stuff that we must follow, as you stated earlier, it don't always start with the fight. It starts with the paperwork. That's what I'm saying. All of it work hand in hand.
But look what happened with John. What his name down? That Selma Mars guy. He got jumped on, beat.
I can't. If you wouldn't say it, I would knew it.
John Lewis. All he wanted was to be able to vote. The whole state turned on him. State troopers clucked him in the head, beat him, and beat all the women and everything. He was nonviolent, right? Mm-hmm. Some of our own mamas and grandmamas and them was nonviolent. Walk Birmingham like you saw what we doing now. They turned them fire hoses on them. Same way I saw them doing some folks in China last two weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Turning that water on them, right? Nonviolent, right? Bombed the 16th Street Baptist Church. Nonviolent. To me, America didn't start listening until this very last riot popped off. You seeing, hey, buddy, all right, Black Lives Matter, all right. I mean, I don't want no more. I'm sorry. I mean, whatever you want to do, buddy, I'm all for. You had the NFL, we had it wrong. You know, Black Lives Matter. We having everybody coming to the forefront now, right? Mm-hmm. Folks up here acting a stone cold fool, popping, they shooting police officers now with no problem. Look at the guy in Dallas. The guy in Dallas that went downtown and started killing them police, and they had to corner him like a rat in a parking lot, a parking deck, and they had to use a robot to shoot him because they didn't want to run up on him.
Mm-hmm. Ex-military.
See what I'm saying?
But
so, Baton Rouge.
But even after all that killing,
yeah,
somebody got to go in there with them same killers.
I agree. But I agree. But my point is this. All that singing and all that mess, all the stuff that we see people doing, it works. I ain't saying it don't.
It plays a role.
But look at what every time one of our little kids get killed out here, we have a visual with some balloons and let them go. Wait on the next one. Mm-hmm. Going on, have the balloons ready.
I would say this, and we gonna be brothers and live to disagree. You know what I'm saying? I feel for the nonviolence movement, but in my opinion, all that singing and all that stuff, none of that work.
None of it worked.
Because you gotta understand this. Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Bill, right? Mm-hmm. He's the same man that signed Dr. King's assassination.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So, like Benny said, we're gonna have to have some paperwork, but that paperwork has to be backed
by
it gotta be backed by your head.
Oh yeah.
Ain't lying.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're talking about a country who fought, stole, killed, raped.
Yes, sir.
They got.
So you got to meet them where they met you at.
And if you don't have yourself in your proper state when it comes to their paperwork, they don't treaty with the Indians, even the treaty with the Moors. Yep. They went back behind on that. Everything they signed. We
Yeah.
go back behind on it.
Yeah, they don't care.
You know what I'm saying?
The
So
paperwork don't matter.
That's in their nature. That's
Yeah.
what they respond to
Yes, sir.
when you act up, because that's in their nature.
Yes, sir. You got to meet 5 with 5.
It matters when we classify ourselves. Like, if you saying you're an immigrant from across that water with you, then they got you. So they like you said, the pen mightier than the sword. If I can write you out of history, it better than me trying to fight y'all. Even though I know y'all don't too much want to go to war, but y'all go to war.
Yeah.
Y'all don't win the war against each other. A lot of people don't know the Civil War was us fighting us, and there was a few of them.
Absolutely.
But a lot of them over here. Like, the biggest migration is 1930.
Yes, sir.
But they've been telling us they've been beating us for 400 years, but America only, I mean, not America, U.S. I got
US
is only it was started 1776. That's why we got the 76ers and stuff. So when you do the math, you're like, how's 400? Like, they try to tell you 1600s is when they started coming over here.
Yeah.
And they was acting like they was cool.
Yeah.
Ain't no way you done brought all of us over here to north and south and the island. It's just too many people. Like, I don't know why we believe that.
But matter of fact, on top
But
of
the
that, they didn't
paperwork
just
is
start-
our key, though. Like,
They didn't
once
just start
we
coming
saying
over.
this is our land, then and then we put it out there to the world. Cause it's a lot of foreign people know this, but they speak in different language. They probably speaking in their language. Like, man, I don't know why them folks over there letting them people just run them like that. But why I'm gonna go help somebody that ain't gonna fight themselves? You know, if I see somebody over there, you know, a group of people getting beat up, and we over here sitting as a group, and I mean, it just same amount of them than us. Then I'm like, man, they ain't trying to fight. Well, we
crazy.
gonna run over there and help them fight.
Yeah, they ain't fighting for themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we look. I really,
That's how we look.
yeah, that's how we ain't doing the we ain't retreating.
Anybody that's been to war, when they go over there and fight.
You know what? That made me just think. I just
ask them, why y'all over here fighting? We ain't got no problem with y'all.
I just thought about something. That's why they have these white folks show up, but black they just gone like the fight. Gone, blow, push. You remember when we used to fight back in the day? Two of they be up there doing all that heat. Push one of them on into the dude and get the fight going. Put the stick all up there. Man, we sick of this talk, man. Y'all need to come on with it. And that's what I'm thinking these folks doing, man. They showing up. They doggone that girl, the white girl they got for burning up the windows. Them Negro jumping there and burning that. We have a fear in us somewhere. They're like, man, I don't know, man, we gonna protest, but we going home after this. I ain't finna like this fact. Man, I mean, you like it.
You know what's gonna happen to a black man out there?
Yeah. And so the white girl go up between all of them and go and blow it up.
Boom. Oh yeah.
Nobody never
Right?
suspect her with it.
But everywhere, all over
Until you hear that
America,
bloom.
This the crazy part. Nobody ever thinks that maybe she's paid to do that.
That's right.
but they call that NAFTA or something like that. NAFTA group. It's a group out here. Yeah, they.
That's Antifa.
But when you really think about it like this. Think about it now. All we were gonna be doing is marching.
Yep.
That's it, and go home. Every time a fight happens, we're gonna march.
No.
Nothing happened, march. Every time they kill one of them, man, let me tell you something. The only time I saw where we went off for real was when Rodney King got beat up. Man, they were busting white folks. They were jumping on folks. They pulled a truck up, Denny, whatever name was out that truck.
The original Denny.
You pulled him out the truck, bust his head and everything. Man, Negro wouldn't take it in L.A.
You know the whole history behind that. They got that's whites.
But hold up, wait a minute. I really believe that we as a people wouldn't have let up if Rodney King wouldn't have got on there and said what he said. If he'd have came out there and said something a little bit more like Malcolm X.
That's usually how
that's
all
what
of
we're
them
talking about fathers standing up and being the head of the family and doing what's right. And you know, it like Benny said, folks say this or that until they put that 23 million in front of you. Now what you want to do?
It's on you to quiet these niggas down.
I'm gonna give you this court.
Shit, they ain't having
We
Dave
not gonna
Chappelle.
convict none of the officers.
They
but
did
we gonna
Dave
give
Chappelle
you
like
this
that.
wrongful thing. Give you this 23 million. And then we need you to get out here and make this statement though. Trayvon Martin parents, after the insurance got filed, you ain't heard them say nothing. Nothing.
That's
Yeah.
what
Ain't nothing
happened.
else they can say.
I think that happened up there with what was that, Baltimore, when they broke the man's spine.
Yeah.
There are a lot of them payoffs come with stipulations.
Yeah, they come with what they call them what's
Hush money.
like they got a specific term for
Yeah,
legal term.
man, what is
what do they
that?
call it?
Gag order.
It's
Settlement?
Yeah, when they got like, if I have something
No, well, you gotta
and I
be
sell
quiet
something
about it.
against Coca-Cola, they put a clause in there where I can't discuss the lawsuit with nobody.
No, the gas,
Non-disclosure.
You know what I'm
Non-disclosure
saying?
gag on.
Non-disclosure
Mm-hmm.
agreement. A non-disclosure.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm gonna give you this money, but you can't say nothing to nobody. You know what I'm saying? But like you say, you gotta be daddies and stand up. I'm sorry. You call who you wanna call. If they kill my son, they kill my daughter,
Yep.
they kill I take that back. If you hurt my son, you hurt my daughter, you hurt my wife, I'm gonna fire you up. That's just bottom line.
Yeah.
I love them enough that much.
Viable enough threat on them, yo.
I don't wanna die. I don't wanna die. But if my soul gotta fly for my children and for my
Cause
wife,
it's finna fly, baby.
I'm finna fly, baby.
You
You know what I'm saying? I'm just as scared as death as the next man. I don't want to die, but I'm not gonna let fear. There's nothing wrong with fear. Letting fear paralyze you is something wrong with that, and we have been conditioned to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it all goes back to again being men, and a lot of things that they did with us on the different fronts, economically, socially, in bondage. They did all that to take the manhood out of us.
Yep.
So I won't stand up.
Industrial Revolution.
Don't look them in the face like that, boy. Look down.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that
Still
show
happening
that
to
you're
this
a
day.
man. So at the end of the day, my primary job is to protect my family.
Yep.
That's right.
I can't provide for them if I don't protect them. And that's in all aspects. So if I am the line of defense between my family and anything, and there used to be a time, like Ferlando said, that it was a whole bunch of men in the neighborhood.
Yep.
And like you say, we usually don't get that way until after. The best thing about slavery was we had to be with one another.
They had to make it
And
work.
when that was over with, we started standing up. That's why they started doing all this crap to us. That's why they took our names from us. So you don't even know that you're from this land. You don't even know that you have an inheritance. You don't even know that you have certain rights. People don't even know the Constitution didn't even come from them. It came from us, the people that were already here. We gave them we made them stand up against England. They were slaves. We made them stand up against England. So, but they flipped the switch on us, and they got us in a position where we don't even know who we is. How do we be a man and be a head of a household when you don't even know who you are? And then we keep going to court talking about rights for black people in legal terms. Black people don't get no rights. So how you go to the court and say, I want rights for folks who don't get rights? That don't make no damn sense. But again, we've been so divided and so separated that we can't work with each other. And even if I got a different philosophy from him, I got a different philosophy from Ferlando, I got a different philosophy from Sam, that don't mean I don't work with them. That don't mean that we ain't trying to accomplish the same goal.
That's what we got
Damn
to
our
get.
philosophy.
That's what we got to
Learn
get
You know
right
what I'm
now.
saying?
Point.
Throw the religion, throw all that shit out the
I
window.
don't care what
Let's
religion
grind.
Ferlando is. Ferlando told me, hey bro, do this here. You can do potatoes in the ground, bro. These potatoes gonna grow. You can feed your family. Shit, that what up, Ferlando?
Yeah.
I don't care whether Ferlando worship Krishna, whether he's calling God Allah, whether he's calling God God.
Now,
I don't
Ferlando
care
got
about
Buddha,
none of
You
that.
got, you
Ferlando
got the
just
Gideon
showed me
version. You got the
how-
Gideon version out there, man. You got
Yeah.
the Gideon version out there.
Show me how to feed my family.
Yeah.
So, but we gotta start bonding together on that and stop having this divisiveness that's separating us from stuff. So I can listen to what Ferlando's saying all day. Ferlando got a for real plan. You know what I'm saying? It's other men that's talking and thinking like this, but we
Yep.
don't know because we're not talking to each
Yeah,
other.
they ain't
That's
talking.
right.
No,
Yeah,
no, but
left.
I'm wholeheartedly with Ferlando. Matter of fact, I think that we're missing the point. Ferlando is saying we gotta have solutions. And that's true. We gotta have
Totally
these
agree.
solutions and work these solutions, but we gotta recognize all the problems that might arise and be prepared for that.
Yep.
So like I said, when you go to war, you didn't just out there fight.
You
You
ain't
got
talking,
objectives
You know
and
where
a
you going,
strategy.
where you
We know
going,
what's
which way to
but
go,
look, when
what
they
could
think,
happen.
They thinking like this. Okay, if I come from the left flank and they got some on the left flank already in the center squadron to come
Yeah.
around from
And we can't be worried about what happened to the other
So,
troop
whether-
up there.
whether
We gonna
the
win.
Squadron come, if they don't get the, if they
Well,
catch
I'll
the
bet-
squadron
I'll
from
bet on
behind,
it.
I got somebody else doubling brown
Yep.
on the right flank. So
Yep.
you gotta have the, and I talk to my children about this at the school all the time. You gotta understand what it is to deduce and have logic. And you have to play chess. You can't
That's
play
right.
checkers. So you can't be looking at things from one step to the next step.
That's
You gotta
right.
Look at 20
Everything
steps
ahead.
You gotta look at everything.
and look at everything.
Right on the side
and
and
get
behind
people
you.
on the same thing.
That's right.
But
Okay.
you gotta know that some folks ain't gonna wanna rock with you.
No, they
Some
ain't.
folks out there they comfortable.
It may be a little bit beyond they
You want to
learn.
think about Ferlando playing. I thought about it 6 years ago. I was at U.S. Pipe working at the time, and I looked at the radius of Belsman. I said in a 20-mile radius, how many churches? I googled it in there, and it was like about 100 and some churches. I'm like, it's enough churches to get kids for one day, like especially young men, and talk and start grooming. Because you probably can't reach someone probably a little younger than me and older than me. Like we ain't kind of winning that course, so some people kind of set. But the kids, we can implement it with you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
see-
saying? We can churches really can get a met. They already got the building set up, because you can't expect the school system to do that. That ain't.
But see, I don't mean to cut you off, but the thing is this: when you got, see, this is a systematic way of me thinking. When I talk about this solution, the solution is like he's saying, it needs to be a tour. First, you got to have advertising. We got to advertise the Black fatherhood. You got to magnify that with some kind of brand, logo. You got to have a jingle. You got to have something that's going to glorify Black fatherhood. All right? Then when you show up to all these churches he talking about, you have the certain activities that are in place. You have certain requirements that are in place, and you got to have something that is beneficial to the men. So when the men showing up, you want the men showing up with their child, their young man. We ain't talking about, we'll deal with the girls, but I think we need to deal with the boys first. Solution. This thing has to get bigger than us, than this conversation. Solutions they're out there. I have plenty of them. I'm like a rapper with solutions. I can come off the dome with them. You give me the problem, I'm going to spit out a solution.
Have you started implementing anything?
I ain't implementing nothing. I've just been thinking. And I want to implement things, but I know it ain't going to just start with me. I got to have, you got the first, you got the first, it can be a nonprofit, whatever, but it has to start with an organization, like you said a few minutes ago. There are other people out there that think like me. Every time I see these problems going on in the community or whatever, I'm like, where the fucking dad at? Where they daddy? Where is the daddy?
Yeah.
So when you look at it that way, first, a lot of relationships with fathers and their sons have been damaged.
Yeah.
So that's part of the advertising. That's part of what the mending and the challenges that have to be put in place. I'm not a scholar, so you got to have somebody that went to school for this stuff in the human resource, what they call it, when the social worker type mindset. Yeah. Huh?
You ain't gotta have nobody that's no scholar.
They gonna need some counseling.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they gonna have some therapy.
Yeah.
You got to put. They ain't gonna just show up at no meeting and it's fixed.
I ain't saying that, but I'm talking about it take us. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that
What
may
you
be-
talking about, we can physically get together and do this, bro.
I believe that, but I'm also a believer in people who are skilled in certain areas.
I feel you.
I believe that if Benny cuts hair real good, which I know he do, I believe in turning it over to Benny to cut the hair instead of me saying, "Oh, we can cut the hair, man. Just get some clippers." I ain't that dude.
Okay.
So
But
if Benny cut hair,
if that's our choice where we at, but we ain't got Benny, and we gotta cut hair.
well, that's on the.
cut hair.
But listen, remember I said beneficial.
Yeah.
You have one thing I learned is that when you have, let me explain something to y'all. This will give you a great resume of what I'm trying to explain about Ferlando. I don't know if you all remember when the family of 15 got evicted out their house over here in Clay Chalford. Y'all remember that?
I don't think I heard
That's
that.
I can tag you on. I can post it on Facebook. Show it to you.
I don't think I heard
All
that.
right.
I'm listening.
Okay. This young lady and her husband had 13 children. Literally. They saved up $8,000 and paid down on a house in Clay Chalford. It's going to take a minute. Paid down on the house in Clay Chalford to a lady with the rent with the option to buy. They ain't had no credit, so they paid $8,000 up front. The lady ended up foreclosing on the property. It's too many children for starters. It's hard for them to rent anywhere with that many in a house, right?
Make a house, that big.
So the lady ended up foreclosing on the house. They ended up getting put out the house. They were staying in hotels. She still letting her children go to school to Clay Chalfer till the children started picking on her daughter about wearing the same thing to school. So she got called to the office, and they talked about it. And they were going out the door, and they were going out crying, and the principal got involved, started asking questions, what's going on. They told them all that, right? So they at the hotel with all 15 of them in a hotel room. Nowhere to go, evicted, and the school tried to take up money to help them. That eventually ran out. Ferlando got wind of that. I know Rhonda Robinson. She at the time was still an anchor woman with Fox 6. She ran a story on it. That's how I got wind of it. And I said, damn, 15? What, they in the hotel? And then Rhonda said, if you want to help them, just go by, America First. Who in the hell gonna go by the seeing what account they got to donate? That's not gonna be effective. In my heart, I said I got to get involved with this. So I contacted her through email. Through inbox. Asked her what's happening, what's going on. All right. We talking about coming up with solutions. So I want y'all to stay with me with this. She told me all of what I just explained to y'all. I asked her, has anybody reached out to help y'all or anything like that? She said, no, other than the school. They've been trying to help us get hotel money. I said, well, where y'all at night? We had to move out the hotel. We over at our mama house somewhere over in Titusville. And she ain't got but a 2-bedroom. I drove over there. All of them was in the house. So, oh my God, what I got to do? I said, give me a minute. Let me think. I went home. I took to Facebook. I put it out there. I come up with a hashtag called it 10 Toes Down. I said, I need all my friends, for business friends, to hear what I got to say. I put it all out there. I put her screenshot our conversation, and I put it out there. All right? To make a long story short, because it's a long story. To make a long story short, all of my business friends, majority of my business friends, either did flooring, sheetrocking, whatever. I skipped the part. We found them a house in Titusville with a nonprofit organization who brought people in from out of town to gut the house out. We gutted the house out. The nonprofit organization, we had people coming in donating their skills, doing the flooring, the plumbing, the heating and air. I bought them refrigerator, whatever, blinds, windows, whatever. We totally restored the house for them. I raised $23,000 to do this. Friend of mine, she's a closing attorney. I got them to the table. She found the family that owned the house. I'm skipping parts, kind of going back and forth, but she found the family that owned the house. They flew in here. We sold them the house for the part of the money that we've raised up. They signed the house over. The house became theirs. No more rent, no mortgage, no nothing. House was totally restored. They now living in this house today. This has been about maybe 4 years ago, maybe we did this. I said that to say this. That was a huge mountain for me to come up with and climb and get people involved and donate with the GoFundMe, all this kind of stuff. I got the Faith Chapel out there donated. I think they donated $12,000 to the cause. We got everybody involved and helped this family get a home. You follow what I'm saying? So there ain't no way you gonna sit up here and say, well, where we start? I don't know if we can use them. I got everybody that professed in whatever they do. Hey. I know what you do. You an attorney. I need you on this. Let me tell you what I'm doing right here. It ain't gonna kill you to sit down with this family and don't make no money and do this. Do it out the kindness of your heart. You with me? I'm with you, Ferlando. Hey, you owns an electrical company. I need you to come run wide. Donate some Romex. Donate some outlets, some boxes or whatever. Oh, Ferlando, I got plenty of that. Okay, great. Good. Counting on you. You do flooring. I'm gonna get the material. I'm gonna get all the material donated. I need you to come over here and just donate what you do. You good with that? I got you, Ferlando. I need you to help me with roofing. You do roofing, man. I seen you on Facebook talking about you do roofing. These folks need to have a roof put on. We getting the material. Will you do this out the county of your home? We talking about a family that's outdoors, 15 of them. I'm down, Ferlando. Ferlando, they start calling me, hey, Ferlando, me and my husband, we'll buy the blinds for the whole house.
That's exactly what I'm saying, dog. You can be the catalyst.
White and black people.
Because it sounds like that you've been thinking about this.
Absolutely,
And then,
absolutely.
like I said, you can be the catalyst.
Yeah.
We can start.
All this talk don't be really worth nothing to me, and I'm like, man, I can see this happening. I can see.
Because I'm gonna tell you, dog. I feel excited when I listen to Brother Rob. I was excited last meeting. Brother Rob was here.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, that inspires me. And when I hear you talk, my question be, okay, what we doing, and let's get it right.
Okay.
Some brothers got a thing going on, man.
I'm finna show it to you.
They need to be acknowledged.
All right, so I know we'll be here all night because this is a great one. But in closing,
Yeah. Them the kids, man.
Nice.
Said we get in the house together.
it's all right.
I can go on with this, man. The end result is beautiful, man. That's the dad right there.
He been doing some sled. His name,
yeah.
his name Slayer.
His name Toby, to be exact.
Slayer, boy. Woo!
Hold on, I'm trying to get to the main part of it.
That's super nice, man.
Man, we had. Hold on, I'm gonna have to go in my pictures. I'm finna show it to you.
It's all about solutions, man. We're a solution-based podcast, man.
And
The thing is, sometimes it takes talking about what the problems are to get to the solution.
yes,
you know?
sir.
And-
Yes,
And
sir.
thoroughly sort them out. You know what I'm saying?
You don't
Yes,
have
sir.
a
If
conversation,
you don't,
know
guess
what's
what?
going on.
You gonna repeat them. You know.
Yeah, if you don't have a conversation, you don't even know what's going on. So it definitely started a conversation. Now I agree with this. Too much conversation.
Nah,
about
ain't no
that.
lie to that.
Yeah, you can't lie to gag on.
Yes, sir.
If you say you're gonna do it, go ahead and put foot to fire.
Barbershop
Man,
Stories,
I'm
the
tell you.
podcast, episode 45, here with Ferlando Park. We've been here, and it has been a great one.
That's right.
Yeah, he pulling up pictures now, but while you doing that there, hey, make sure you tune
There
in
you
to
go.
V94.9 Home Team
See, this-
Morning Show every morning, Monday through Friday.
That's the
from 6
conversation.
to 10.
That's the conversation. I'm telling them who I am and all that.
Mm-hmm.
We got involved. See, $8,000 down. She was paying them $1,000 a month. Right here. She said foreclosed in advance. They bought us out the home for $3,500, but it only covers the first 3 weeks in the hotel. Trustville. Okay, I'm gonna speed up a little bit. All right. So she talking about what they raised money. Rhonda Roberts forgot to mention the people can make donations to American First Federal Credit Union. So I'm gonna keep going. All right, let me get past all this chitter chatter. All right. So this is my first post. Right here. All right. This is me telling everybody what's going on. See all the children in the hotel? All right. This is me with them. Some of them. That ain't even all the children.
Yeah, I didn't say that 15.
Yeah, this all of them in the room together.
In each other's pocket, but
Yeah, my daughter did their hair right here. My daughter's a hairstylist. She said, Dad, I'll do all the girls' hair. So, okay. These all of them.
Great act, man.
So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna speed up a little bit. There's the dad. Y'all, I got pictures all of them, so I was putting it out there, showing everybody. I started it off with $200. GoFundMe. Kept going. That's me sitting there. See the numbers? Steadily climbing. All this. See what I'm saying? We putting it to work. And guess what? This boy, his whole goal is, man. Let me tell you something. This broke my. I mean, it just touched me when this boy, on his birthday, his only wish is to go feed the homeless, and they homeless. This what they were doing. That's what
I
they
heard
doing.
That story. That's what they got up.
They feed, yeah. It was on the news.
I remember that story.
Yeah. So this them we going. That's when they got him some personal hygiene stuff. That girl right there donated all the stuff to him. They still in the hotel now. It's all of them together. It's the house we found. That's in Titusville.
It's just like this is what we like to talk about on here, man. You know, it took a 2.5 hour conversation to get to it, but we know it's guys
Came
out
up with
doing,
this hashtag.
doing different from
They
what they say we doing. You know what I'm saying?
Their last name is Stone. All of them last name is Stone. So it's me helping them. This that how when they first got custody of how they would go in there, we cleaning the house out, gutting it. They go in there with sledgehammer, but these guys came over to help. They donating their time. So I'm talking about literally coming in helping.
All raising.
Yeah. I told, hey man, we can chit chat and all that. I said, man, we finna do this. They were down. Everybody started getting in. I was wearing Facebook out. Every time you open up your timeline, they couldn't help but see. I putting on there. Meanwhile, there are 15 people outdoors, and we enjoying our Facebook and we online. I had to keep going now for them to understand that, you know, they see the how we regular tearing that mug down.
How did you hear about the family? It was a story on the news.
On
That's how
Rhonda
you heard?
Robinson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Rhonda. What up, Rhonda?
Yeah. So did you see right here? I mean, we in that mud gutting it out. I'm gonna try and get way past all this right quick. Pictures loading slow.
These are the type of acts that gotta continuously happen.
That when the house started coming together. That girl right there. That go Bullet Eye.
Yeah, old Franco.
Franco. Yeah, he was down. Ask him. He'll tell you about it. Franco was all involved with it.
Franco always coming through.
Yeah, I told Franco, I said, Franco, I need you, man. So what can you do with it? Help us out. Go on. This lady right here, she bought all the blinds. CJ Electric. That's the electrical guy. He went and ran all the electrical wiring. That lady right there, she bought all the blinds for the house. We had the house totally gutted out. To see the end result of this, man, beautiful. That's the shower. Look how they putting in the shower. They're putting in new wood boards. Windows was donated. All this stuff donated.
That's what's up. People
Yeah.
can come together.
Oh yeah, this the
They
foundation. They came. People coming in from all out the country. Some of these guys, this the closing table right here. All of them at the closing table.
Real shit.
Yeah, that she had just had another baby. The lady that holding the baby for her, that's the mom over there. But these the family that traveled from out of town to sell them the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's them. They finna become homeowners. That's the guy that's Common Thread. He's the leader of Common Thread nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
So they heading all this up. I got up, took pictures of this stuff, showing them how they was at the closing table.
That's what's up.
That's
man.
us when we got everything done and the house was theirs.
So,
So they became homeowners that day. That's me standing there with them that day. We're going back to work, getting back on the house as we going. And folks over there, but it's just fun, man.
and they still together.
And they still, yeah.
That's what's up, man. He can't leave. He can't
See
leave.
the-
He
see
won't.
the floor?
He better not leave.
See the flooring coming in play? We putting in new floor. We had all this stuff done. I ran all the wires for them. They got TVs. We put TVs on the wall for them. See how it's coming together now? Man, the floor was so shiny. That like Tam and her husband donated all the ceiling fans and the lights. She sent me the money, and I went and bought all this stuff for them. I took pictures of it to show them. I'm picking up the lights, tile. Buddy come over there doing all that paint. He painted the house up so nice, man. Look at the hallway. Look how wide the hallway is now. There were too many of them at the girls' room.
So you can walk down at the same time.
Yeah, look at that, man. Tub and new the plumbers came. Got all this stuff going. They started putting the fans up that the lady donated. See how it's coming together? Look at the house now.
Yep. Let's see. Well, that's what's up, man. In closing, what do you want to say to him, Lando? In closing.
And we also had some people that you know, I know we've been talking all night, but some people wanted some any tips that you had, quick tips that you can give an entrepreneur, because we've been on a lot of stuff. We've been on the entrepreneur stuff and back to the house and the black folk and the children. But in closing, like Benny said, give out a couple entrepreneur tips and wrap it up with whatever you want to wrap it up with.
Becoming an entrepreneur is one of the things that it takes a lot of discipline. And I would encourage anybody that's looking to become an entrepreneur is the number one thing you should be willing to know that you can't, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not I didn't make any money that I would run home and tell mama about to probably about 4 or 5 years of being an entrepreneur. I can tell anybody that that wants to be an entrepreneur that it's not going to be easy. It's not a position where you can go home and let everybody else do the work. Being an entrepreneur or owning a business is just like raising a child. You have to be there for your child. You have to check on your child. People are not going to understand why you always worrying about your child.
Being your baby.
Business is your baby. So I would encourage anyone that aspire to be an entrepreneur, is to always stay focused on what it is you want to do, act upon it, and stay in control. That's mainly I can come up with now without questions. It's hard to just come off the dome.
That's enough though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's broad. Like you said, you got that broad brush again.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah.
they, I'm pretty sure they feel where you coming from.
Is that
Yeah.
the fella that say don't paint with the broad brush? Got a roller brush in there.
Yeah.
All of us grab it every now and then.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know,
Well, that's
paint
what's
gun
up.
too.
Well, that's what's up, man. This has been a great episode. Barbershop. I can't get the words. I'm tired. Barbershop Story Podcast, episode 45.
Yes, sir.
Ferlando Parker, man, it's been great, bro. As always, we appreciate it. We appreciate it, man.
Great conversation,
It's
man. I
always
love
great to be able to have dialogue without totally. Of course, it's gonna be disagreement, but not
absolutely.
one time that I was a nigga. And some people will turn into that, and I think stuff like this is needed. More conversations like this are needed, man. Appreciate Rob for coming through. Appreciate Tony for
Appreciate
coming
y'all,
through.
fella.
Appreciate K1 for sitting here. He dozed off a couple times on him. Took his shirt in, untucked it and everything. He ready to go. But nah, we appreciate it, man. Barbershop Story Podcast, episode 45, 46 will be next week, Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. We'll see you, and we are out.
Much love.
Solutions, baby. Solutions.
That's what it's all about.
You got to do some talking, though.
I enjoyed it, man.
Same.
Here's my co-host.
Always.